Well, Lindsay's still great. Paige burned her handy.
No hand jobs for Paige.
No hand jobs for Craigie. Have a feeling he wasn't getting those before anyway. And Kyle, you had one of the best episodes you've ever had on this show. Welcome to Showmance, guys, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Shows as shallow as Kyle's capacity for understanding that life phases, they're not just for the dicks anymore.
I don't know what that means.
You know, obviously we get to the house and it's Paige and cute little Lindsay. Everybody loves
Paige's
pregnant Lindsay.
new best friend.
Yep, exactly. They're talking about Carl and Lexi and everything that's going on with them. And then they walk in together and Lindsay was like, oh, you're here together. Lindsay's clutching her pearls, but like in the cutest way possible.
Yeah.
Like the old Lindsay would have been like, this is weird. What's going on? Do you know he said this about
Yeah.
you?
I love that Lindsay always has had like the reputation of like not welcoming people in. Like she's not, and then like this year, like her maternal instincts have kicked in on like all cylinders.
Tenfold.
Yeah. And now Lexi is her new baby daughter, her new baby dumpling face until she gets like her actual own baby dumpling face.
Lexi's like the egg that you get in high school.
Yeah.
And like, you have to keep it alive for a week and you can't smash it.
Yeah.
I never got that because I went to an all-girls Catholic school, so there were no eggs.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that either. I went to a Baptist school. There were both sexes there, but sex was a word we did not talk about.
I went to a heathen school in Southern California. We got eggs.
I thought it was interesting because I was listening to an interview that Lexi did, and she said that Lindsay was actually, she felt the most welcoming to her,
Yeah.
which I just thought was sweet.
No, it's totally sweet, but I've got to assume that the change is all from the
100%.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not questioning it. We're here for all of it, and we're not going to look a gift horse in the face or whatever that
Look
in
a
the
gift
mouth,
horse in the mouth. Yeah.
in the toothy
Don't put
Jesse
that in
Solomon
there.
mouth.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, a horse's mouth and a horse's ass.
Yeah, there you go. So they come in.
This is gonna sound so lame and super stan, but whatever. I went back and forth for like a half a second probably. And I was kind of like, if Lexi says it's okay, it's probably okay.
Says
And then
what?
obviously, like, just like them coming together. I was like,
oh.
well, if Lexi says it's cool, it must be cool.
She's going to finish out this season in this love triangle. She might realize like, how many episodes do we have left? Like she just is going to, fully embrace this arc
Totally.
through the end because it's almost
Yeah.
over.
And
So
she's businesswoman. She's getting next
that's
season
what I'm
locked
saying.
down.
Yeah.
And
We
like,
can't just decide she's just emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
She's likely pretty business savvy at this point too, if she's been working since
and
she's
if
like 11 or something.
Yeah. And if she's not, then mom and sister, like somebody in the trio, dad, like like someone in that family knows what the fuck is going on. Clearly.
Yeah.
I think yes to everything you guys are saying. I also think I thought your elbow slipped again. I couldn't tell.
We cut that part last time because it just went on for too long. But Mike like half fell off the chair and we thought he was having a stroke.
I think it was a heart attack. I thought he was like reaching towards
Courtney
his
thought
arm.
he's having a heart attack. So he's like grabbed his arm.
In the moment of these things happening, she obviously did have a crush on this ding dong for a minute. And you can tell about her that she's a super sweet chick.
Yeah.
So she probably was like, okay, I know I shouldn't forgive him, but like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I like making out with him and he is so cute and he did apologize, whatever her things are. So I have to give her leeway for the fact that like she probably did forgive him one too many times. And that's fine because at 27, at 37, at 67, I could see myself doing that because, if you're a fool for love.
But also, I think, and this was a comment I have saved for the beach and Jesse's Sierra apology, but I can use it twice because it's so good.
I'll be
I'm
the judge
kidding.
of that.
Yeah, right. I get the sense that after she's like, we talked for hours, we went over this, we talked about communication, I told him X, Y, and Z. Like, once you get the gist of the entire episode, I was like, okay. So he did the week one consultation week at Lexi's boot camp, where she runs him through the 5-day course to see if he's going to pick up on the tips and trades that she's come up with. Then at the beach, I was like, oh, this is his test. This is the final exam to see if he will be accepted into the final program of Lexi's boot camp. And like I said, we'll get to that when we get to it. But
Oh, good.
yeah, I thought that's kind of what happened. Was she was like,
Yeah.
here's week one.
You're lucky you have a lot of fans on this network.
Wow. What do you
Because
mean?
they're going to be like, I love it. I'll buy it.
Perfect.
Listen, I don't know if he passed that test, that final exam.
I'm
We'll
gonna
get
go
to
with a
that when we
no.
get to it. But
Yeah.
that was my thought.
Okay.
Wait, does anyone remember? And by the way, I've watched this episode twice today, so I'm a little concerned that I don't remember. Everybody kind of gets in and they're sitting on the couch talking. And obviously, the stuff with uh, Jesse pops up and Sierra starts giving her opinion
Yeah.
on, oh, so you're not two-faced.
Oh,
But
can
who
we-
brought it up? What?
Dude, so at first I was like, that's weird. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, yeah, that's still pretty weird. But it started not as weird as I thought. They were all on the couch. Everybody was having their own conversations. And then Carl was like, how are you guys doing? Yeah, this house is crazy. Like everyone's on camera. It's like hard to go through this with a group setting. So he's trying to have like just a one-on-one party conversation with Lindsay, or with Lexi, which was like, it was a little weird. I was like, dude, this is a weird conversation
It's
to have.
Carl,
But
though.
yeah, totally. Then I think it just like everyone kind of got quiet and they were like, what's that, Carl? Oh, Lexi, so how do you feel about? And then
Yeah.
it just kind of became a thing that
Okay.
everybody was like talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who said what'd you get out of it.
Is Amanda.
And then Jesse is like, well, I got the communication, blah, 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 blah. And that's when Sierra just went mean girl.
How would you have handled it if you were Sierra?
Well, handled what? Like it had
Like,
nothing
would
to
you
do
just-
with her. That conversation had nothing to do with her. That conversation had to do with those two, what happened last week in their relationship, why they came together, how things were going. Jesse, you talked to your girlfriend, exclusive, whatever the hell, something like they're back doing something, right? Huggy kissing. So like everyone was talking about that and what. Okay, you had all these talks and these conversations. Jesse, what did you get from it? And he said his piece, and then so like nothing. I would have said nothing because like this has nothing to do with me. Now, if he was like, oh, well, that my communication with her, and then I also realized because of that I probably shouldn't have spoken to Sierra the way I did and said those things, and I probably like now, cool. Now you're brought into this conversation. Now you can say whatever the fuck you want. Otherwise, save it for later if you got to say some shit. And I think that Jesse was like, even him being like, oy, 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 what are you trying to say? Like that was fuck, I don't want to be a dick, but I've been down this road before. What?
No, I'm just Jesse's like, what are you trying? I think she said it. Like, I know that you don't think that you were like, no, you're kind of pussyfooting around
yeah.
it. And I know that's annoying to you. But I also think like, she is, but she also said it. You're two-faced and you're a liar. Like,
Yeah.
I've been saying it since.
He is, by the way, he is
Which he
two-faced.
is, yeah. So I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I was just rolling my eyes at the comment that
Yeah.
that he when Jesse, just
Yeah.
Jesse in general. Whenever you see an eye roll.
Yeah, I don't, if I was Sierra in that moment, like I said, I wouldn't have said anything because it wasn't her moment. You know, it was their moment. And like, whatever, shit on me for that. Like them, don't like them. I'm not on Team Jesse, even though by the end of this episode, you might be like, I don't know if I believe you.
I feel like if I were her, because obviously her delivery was aggressive and just like she is pissed at him and made no bones about that.
It's also kind of weird. Like, why are you so mad?
I think because he's, well, now what are you making that face about?
Wow, and now it's not about Jesse.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, please go because I have a diatribe. So please just.
Oh, no, go for it.
So Jesse is so stupid that he thinks that she's mad over the most superficial thing of like, oh, one joke. Oh, I asked her not to touch my arm. It's not that heavy. It's not that major. Like whatever he says. She is pissed because she has found herself in a position that she's probably most pissed with herself. Sarah is saying all the things that like we've wanted her to say all year. I'll speak for myself that I have, and she hasn't. And she's saying it now, and it just doesn't feel as satisfying as I thought it would because I know I'm watching her and I'm just kind of been tracking her, and I feel like she knows she should have said something in this at this level of aggression. She should have said something long ago. She should have spotted Jesse for number one, for who he is out of the gates. I did season 1 when he came in and hits on Paige, the most popular girl on the show,
Who has
in the
a
most
boyfriend.
in the most popular relationship on Bravo. So she's either mad that she didn't see him for who he is sooner, or more likely, she did see it and wasn't more forceful about the boundary. Like, her boundaries are very light. They're very laughy, jokey. Again, Sierra as a person in the real world, just like walking through and living her life like any other girl, she did nothing wrong. Sarah, the character on television that we're all watching, the smoke show with money in the bank and the world at her fingertips, we want better from. And so how long it took her to kind of call this out, I think that she knows the position she's in. And she's kind of isolated herself from everyone now because Jesse has created this whole debacle, and he's like the architect of the whole uncomfortable, awkward situation that's happening right now. But Jesse's not a guy that like gives a shit to have any self-awareness and go, I'm just gonna like lay low this week. Oh, I might take a weekend off. That's a thing. People do it. No,
Laying low is not in his vocabulary.
not happening. Big ass house with a big ass backyard. We're just going to hang off to the side because like, so that Sierra can just like live and breathe in this space. Because right now, Sierra knows that everyone is having a conversation about her. Jesse and Lexi are having hours and hours of conversations that are half about her. We're doing it. Whoever else out
Kyle
there.
told her that was happening on the way out.
Kyle told who what?
Kyle, Amanda, and Sierra drove out together.
Yeah.
When everyone in the opening scenes, when everybody's driving out, and she was like, "Oh yeah, what happened at that dinner?" And he was like, "Well, to be honest, most of our conversation was focused around you."
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Like they're having the people in the house are having conversations. People that do what we do every week are. Watch What Happens Live is the audiences across comment sections on every platform across the universe are now like still talking about Sierra being in her infinite fuckboy era. And it doesn't mean that she's got to be doing fuckboys, but like all the same, they're hanger abouts. They're in her
They're being
environment.
entertained.
They're being entertained by her, whether it be someone like West who like was just trying to nail her, whether it be someone like Jesse who could have literally worn a t-shirt that says I'm 13 years old and I'm getting so many boners now, but doesn't need to because we all know him to be. Or Carl even, who was the fuckboy of the show, who is now just trying to pull her into his like infinitely long journey of asexual healing. You know, like for some reason,
Sexual, asexual healing, the remix by Carl.
Trademark.
Playing at softs everywhere. I mean,
Yes.
if that doesn't say everything about Carl.
That's the bar's theme song.
Yes. I think that like she gets aggressive when like you like make her comfort zone weird. Like it's awkward now. It's weird. I've got to deal with this. Everyone's talking about me. I'm now going to be she's been around long enough to just know like what this all means. And she's found herself in yet another situation like that. So I think that her aggression is more is like not misplaced by any stretch, but it's just not about what it looks like it is on the surface.
Or maybe the timing was off is kind of, I think, also what I'm hearing you say. Because you said you wanted to hear her say something like this, but just not at this moment.
Yeah. But like when we're talking about like she inserted herself in this thing, I don't really think that she inserted herself into, like you were saying, this isn't about you. This isn't like this is about them. But it is because she's involved in what they're going through. It's like one more thing again. Here I am, even though I'm not nailing him, I'm still a part of this conversation.
I'm not saying that she's not involved in their situation and the situation that's happening. I think that I didn't hear that conversation they were having was about Lexi and Jesse's week and how they got to where they are now, the two of them, right? So again, like, yes, Sierra is a part of what's going on this season, but I don't like that. It just, and again, I'm not gonna say I'm not mad at her. Like, I thought it was a little rude and a little like, I wrote in the comments this week that like, she does have a tendency to go 0 to 100 like real fast, right? And so, like, what would I have done if I was in that position? I wouldn't have said anything. That being said, I don't know what it is. So it could be what you're saying. It could be something totally unrelated that's going on in her life right now. But I get the vibe that something's going on with her because she's been standoffish and kind of mean to everyone except
Yeah.
Paige and Amanda, right? Like
Yeah.
she won't hang out with Lindsay. I think this is the first
Oh,
week I've
she won't? I didn't
ever
even
no,
realize
it's not
that.
not Lindsay, sorry. Lexi and
Oh,
her have
okay.
a thing. I think that this is the first time I've seen her go check on Lindsay or go talk to Lindsay was this week. There's only one more episode left, right? She's not really she had her thing with Carl, but it was awkward and weird, right? And who's gonna be mean to Carl?
They should
Uh
be.
yeah.
I'm back. Even though I was like pussyfooting around it last week, being like, I'm not saying it's, but I just think some people. I was saying me.
Yeah.
It was me thinking that.
She's not like her thing with Wes, her thing with Jesse now. She just like her and Gabby haven't really had, so she hasn't really had a relationship with anybody,
Yeah.
not even Amanda and Paige. She just kind of sitting there. The only thing she's done this year is talk to Paige about
Well,
Craig.
to me, this season is like a growing pains season,
Yeah,
right? Because you
yeah.
have Paige, this is the death rattle before her breakup.
Yeah.
Amanda could not be more adorable this season, but she's just not really there. Or do you know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah.
there, but it's like Amanda light. I don't really
She-
see her
She seems stoned to me all the time.
Maybe
like
she is.
like not in a. She's like kicked
Live and
back
let live.
and just kind of like exactly.
Yeah.
That's
and honestly, for Kyle, this is a very turned down summer as well.
Yeah.
So I think that like that's a different place for them.
Yeah.
And then Lexi came in with this chick who ended up being a bust
Yeah.
because of whatever the reasons are. So then that's kind of strange. And then West isn't acting like himself because he acted a fool last summer and he thinks the best way for everyone to forget about it is for him to just fly
Yeah.
under the radar. And then you've got Carl being strong
So
at
Carl.
best.
Yeah.
God bless him, but still. And then Lindsay's pregnant. And that's like there's been a different person in place of Lindsay that just looks like Lindsay.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Lindsay's doppelganger AI bot.
so I feel like it's just a whole season of growing pains
Yeah.
and it's people finding their footing and they're having different conversations. It's not even like having these massive parties. We all just
Yeah.
commented on the fact that like this party that they had last week, the Snooze Fest,
Yeah.
felt like the first great big fun party that they
Yeah.
had all year because it certainly wasn't Carl's pirate debacle.
Yeah.
And if there is a God, no one at Bravo or in the house will let him throw the baggy clothes party.
Yeah.
Okay. But in relationship to this, I get why Sierra's angry because I
Yeah.
think there is this part of her that's like, I do think, and Nettie said this in the comments, and I completely agree with her. She was very clear about the fact that, like, I don't see you like that. I don't want to hook up with you like that. Like, even the girls, when they have the conversation later in the episode with Jesse, and he
Oh, I
said,
loved that.
like, oh, do you think Sierra would have hooked up with me? And they were like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, but no.
Yeah.
So I think she has been so clear. And it's like, I've been so clear and we do have a friendship and we have been hanging out, but I'm still getting pinned as the asshole that's flirting with you or like someone can't trust their dude around me. And you were the one flirting with me. Now, should she have entertained it or any of that stuff? We can go into those details. But I think, like you said, she waited too long
Yeah.
to pop off on him. And then it just seemed like what she was saying wasn't necessarily wrong. Because I do think Jesse, at least this season, is incredibly two-faced, especially if you're listening to these interviews that Lexi is doing now. Cubby had said, listen to Nick Viall,
Yeah.
where she said that West had said, and I fully believe that he did say this, like, oh man, not West. She said, Jesse said, oh man, West got so famous from being with Sierra last season.
Yeah.
And that is so gross. And it's like, I get why Sierra is irritated with him, but I just wish she said it
Yeah.
at a different place in time because she is right. He is being two-faced. He is being a little shit.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be. Someone should call him out for these F-boy ways because the quickest way to get me crazy is to put an F-boy in front of me.
Yeah.
We've all seen that through watching this show. But yeah, it didn't. land as well as
Yeah.
it could have.
I don't know how clear even Amanda and Craig thought, oh, they're gonna be dating by the end of the summer, if not tonight. Like and then there was another
Amanda
time.
thought that they both thought they were gonna hook up that night.
Yeah.
Craig was the one that they were
Yes.
like, Craig
Well,
took
because
this story
Craig
for a
doesn't, he's not a
minute.
hookup guy, he's a relationship
that's
guy.
right, yeah.
She's like, they're gonna be together. They
And
love
he's a
each
story-
other.
He's a storyteller.
And Amanda's like, they're gonna
Yeah.
bang.
Yeah.
And then even Paige said that one time, you can cut the sexual tension with a knife with these two.
Yeah, that's a couple weeks
Those two are brother and sister. Brothers and sisters don't grind on each other like that. And don't. So it's like I really don't think that I think that she threw out enough audible lines that could go into the edit where she could be like, see, I said that though. Remember I said that thing. Take it elsewhere, buddy. Oh, get off of me. Get up. But like everything she was doing with her body language and like, God, please do not misconstrue this as like she was saying
She asked
no,
for
but she
it.
meant yes. Like I don't mean that at all. But those two are friends and her body language spoke much differently than like the just sort of like zingers that would come out of her mouth. They're touching knees, they're sitting next to each other. Jesse's massaging her foot for Paige to say, suck her toe, Jesse. Like jokingly, but still like you got to have someone's foot
little
in
bit
your
of
hand
truth in all
to even
jokes.
say. I think that Sierra knows full well, like this is not a surprise to her. I think that she knows that she's a magnet for like insanely emotionally ridiculous, like immature men. She knows it. I'm sure she like talks about it, laughs about it, and then complains about it to her friends that it's a problem, but it's not a big enough problem. It's not, the problem isn't bigger than like the dopamine hits she gets from like the attention of idiots. And so I'm sure she wants to get a handle on that. America wants her to get a handle on that. We are so tired of this era where we're looking to like move on to the next. Like, when is this season over? This season's been going for the last 4 seasons or whatever with her. And I also think that all the times, remember, I would like line up all the things that I was laughing about what the things that Wes would say, like, so you're not together, so you're not boyfriend, girlfriend, so it's final. I think that Wes is like, is it my turn yet to f some shit up? Because I've been over here just minding my business, waiting for, like, I think that Wes is like looking to get back on the scene in the show. You know?
I don't know if I think that as much as, and maybe it is, maybe I'm missing it because every time I'm watching West talk to Jesse about the relationship, the Lexi, him, all that stuff, West has zero patience for this.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, that's fine. You don't need to have patience, but I'm sure Jesse had a lot of patience for you when you were going through this stuff with Sierra. And I get it. He's like, you've only known her 5 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? And like, we all have our stuff that we talk to our friends about. And I just think he is the quickest. If this was you and I, if we were 2 single chicks living in the summer house and I was making a bad decision with a dude, if behind my back you were always like, well, Courtney's being an idiot because she's only known him for 4 weeks, I would be like, way harsh, Ty.
Yeah, information that would have been useful to be told directly to me.
And maybe in a more kit glove kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's being a little Mario Brutale I'm not saying he's wrong in his opinions, but I was just like, oh, I don't know.
Do you not, though, kind of entertain that it could be because he's just like, we're almost through a whole season.
No.
I need to do something. I've been overshadowed by this whole thing that's going on. I get how it works now. This is my 2nd season. I know the drill, but like, I need to make sure I'm getting asked back next season. And
no,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I think I probably am missing that because I'm just so shocked where it's like, you're not the nicest dude friend to your dude friend.
Yeah. I thought he was just trying to nail Lexi, but then I just realized that everyone is probably trying to
the
get
spotlight's
in there,
not on
like,
West.
last minute shit. Yeah, especially if the thing that Jesse said was true about. Do you know how like if West is also aware how famous he got and maybe like, you know, maybe his views aren't as much as they once were. Maybe his comment section isn't as like crazy as it was. Like, I think you could all, at a certain point, I think that you might start to see like that the less hate that there is in comments, the less interested they are in your story. And you might be like, you think that he'd be happy about it, but no, that's money in the bank. So,
All press is good press.
Yeah, all press is good press. Lindsay got him on the show. I'm sure she's been telling him that the whole way through.
Wait, guys, we have a We have a signed lease for Soft Bar.
No, we don't have a signed lease. We have a commitment. Well, he's this fucking dude. Carl committed to a $1.5 million to an idea that nobody has said is a good idea. Not his friends, not the comments.
Mm-mm.
And he's still talking about, and granted Kyle asked, but he explained the like, it's fun when it fails so perfectly. So like,
Good guy clause.
Yeah,
Nice guy.
Yeah, nice
That
guy clause.
wording
Like,
was-
bro,
I wanted to say.
fucking Carl, you're gonna fail. Like, I was so mad. I had to pause and sit here and just like shake it off because all I kept thinking was like, Carl, do you have a list of ideas that you could slide into this $1.5 million building if software doesn't work? Like, is that something you're thinking about? Because it's something you should be thinking about, because soft bar is probably not going to work for 7 years. Like, that's probably not a thing. I don't know any bars that work for 7 years. I don't think that's even like a thing, right? Well, I don't know. I'm not a bar guy. So, but like just the like, oh, there's a good guy clause. Oh, and if I file bankruptcy, I'm still fine. Like, no, dude, if it doesn't work, what are you going to put in there? What's the next idea? Like, what are you going to add to the, like, it drove me fucking crazy. He's driving me crazy.
I don't know if he actually did sign the lease. This is total
No, he said
speculation.
he's going, well, at this point, I don't know if he has.
Because
but-
there is we still don't, like, if you go on Soft Bar's IG or whatever website, like, there isn't a location, right?
I haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm probably not.
Yeah, he did say he was about to
Yeah,
sign the lease.
Oh.
When Kyle asked, tell me what a commercial lease is, like I don't know what a commercial lease is. I have zero doubt that Kyle knows everything he needs to know about a commercial lease and is now desperate to make sure that Carl does too. So tell me what you think it is,
Totally.
Carl. And how do you get out of it if all goes to hell?
Yeah.
And just the fact that he said that, like, basically with a good guy clause, it's like, well, so sorry I couldn't pay you that insane amount of money that I committed to that everyone across America told me was the worst idea ever. So sorry about that. But good news is I'm a good guy.
I'm the good guy on the show.
Right?
Yeah. I'm the number one good guy.
Should
Yeah.
settle itself out then. Great to do.
Where do
Happy
I-
to do business with you.
Yeah.
Catch you on the next one.
Where do I
Which I'm sure
sign?
there will be, because why wouldn't there be?
And while we're at it, you can have an extra 2 doubloons.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even talking about? This is like all gobbledygook. I just looked at their Instagram page.
And
It says
nothing.
coming 2025, summer 2025.
Okay.
Also, there is no location, but on the hat it says Brooklyn. So
That's where the van's parked.
yeah,
The-
exactly.
The van is in a parking garage that he
In a
pays
$10,000
$10,000 a
parking
month.
space.
It's one of the ones that
Brooklyn.
lift up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
When Kyle does bring that up, I think it was on Summer House. That because Schwartz has been making the rounds on all the shows. So, but I think it was Summer House when he was just telling maybe Kyle the most giant takeaways from his failed Schwartz and Sandy's was, and I will never sign a commercial lease
Yeah.
ever again. His was 25 grand a month and Carl's is only 10, but Schwartz was selling booze. So I feel like the
And
booze
Schwartz was also in
significantly,
West Hollywood.
well, in
Beechwood Canyon.
25 and 10 is probably, it might sound like, oh, that's double and
Well, one has
some.
alcohol.
But if one has alcohol, I think that significantly closes the gap
Yeah.
between those two numbers. So if Schwartz is saying it was the worst decision I ever made was to sign that lease, and he actually is in the business of restaurants and has other businesses and has people to call on should, like, he's on the LVP roster. Like, what has Carl got? Well, whose roster is he on? Not Lindsay's anymore.
No.
So when Carl said, if I'm being honest, can I be honest? Lindsay's just acting this way because she's embarrassed. When he said that,
At least he
I
didn't say what
can't
I thought
wait.
he was going to say.
What did you think?
Didn't he say recently that, oh, I think she's still hurt and loves, like, she's still in love with him?
No, I think it was just about being embarrassed. I think that's all. I haven't
think-
heard anything about still in love with him.
I think, like, I think it was a few weeks ago. He said something about her that he thinks that she's still she's still into him. Like she hasn't gotten over him yet.
Okay.
Something along those lines. I could be wrong, but it was not embarrassed.
I
'Cause
thought
this
it was
the first
hasn't
time.
gotten over the humiliation of getting dumped on TV, which like all I was going to say from that was that when he said that, everything in me was just like it was like boiling over. Like I cannot wait until the reunion because I just like just to see Lindsay finally activated because we haven't seen it. You know,
Yeah.
you sometimes you miss stuff that you thought you never would.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is see her respond to this. And then somebody else said that. Oh, I can't wait to see this at the reunion. And then she, of course, Lindsay's always in the comments, and she was like, we just shot the reunion. This is the first time I'm seeing this. So I'll respond here. And she just, I can't even remember what she
Oh,
said, but
that's a
like it would have
bummer
been
that-
so much greater to
Yeah.
see it live and direct her like standing up over him. And another thing.
Yeah, because I don't think she was embarrassed as much as she was livid, angry, seeing red, wanted to fucking make you
Yeah.
meet your maker, bro.
Yeah.
She was so pissed at you. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you do this to me?
Yeah.
Not because like I'm embarrassed about it, but like have some respect for what we built, that we would have
Yeah.
a conversation not on
Yeah.
camera about breaking like
Oh my God.
you are. And by the way, it wasn't even a conversation. He walked in and this, I get it. I get that. And I said on an episode of Uncorked, the show that we used to do before this, that these people shouldn't have even been in the same state, let alone the same apartment, let alone ever even entertain the idea of getting married. And I understand sometimes you just have to cut things off. Because this happened to me once, it does irk me a little bit when someone, sorry, Mike, when you are in a relationship with someone and you make the decision for both of you. And it's not like I made a decision, we're both getting massages all day long. You can make that decision. But for you to just wake up one morning after we've both put in time and love and energy and years of our life into this, and you just say, and it's not like I'm ending this, and it's not because someone, of course, there's always extenuating circumstances. Someone could be violent, someone could be abusive. Yes, then get out, run like a thief in the night whenever you can. I'm talking about like a regular relationship where they were fighting all the time. Clearly they shouldn't have been together, but like he just didn't leave her like, hey, I've made this decision, but like I want to talk about this. For a guy who's therapized 7 Ways to Sunday,
Yeah.
I didn't think he did the best job of.
Oh, God.
And by the way, with that said, I think he did them both a favor, and thank God he did
I
it.
think
So-
everyone in this world can agree that what him ending it was 1000% the right thing to do. Like they should have never been in it to begin with, but like I understand how that happened and whatever. When he says that, like to this day, and he says like I didn't go in there knowing that I was going to do that. Like that's just how the conversation went. It ended because of how like whatever. I didn't know that was happening. I didn't plan this. Whether you did or you didn't, you did. I call bullshit on that. But I'm just saying, I understand that like that's just my gut is telling me, everything in my gut is telling me like you knew exactly what you were doing, and you probably did it for a variety of reasons. You need a small production crew for emotional support to do this thing.
I don't think he would have been able to do it.
I don't either.
Without his like back to the wall in a situation like that.
Exactly. He needed America to see it like live in real time, as much as that, I know it's taped, whatever, but like so that because Lindsay is a legit publicist and she could
put spin on
it
shit
however she
like
wants.
a
He
pro.
wanted it all on camera. Or also like it garners so much goodwill from the network if you give them something like that. Like you're guaranteed a next season, if not more.
Totally.
I mean, Beverly Hills is talking about how they're offering the ladies all these incentives to like really kick it up a notch. They're not explaining what kicking it up a notch means, but like they're talking about it now, how like Bravo's offering incentives for taking your game to the next level. So like I wouldn't be shocked if that's how Carl got his soft bar commercial lease down payment
or how he paid Lindsay for the apartment for a year, or paid the deposit for the wedding that he lost. And
when he said, because he talks about like, oh, if I knew I was going to do it, I literally could have done it 1 week before and gotten my deposit back. When the has Carl shown us any time that he even understands what money means? Like he's dumping all this money. Like who knows what's going to happen? I'm just super passionate about it.
I
Like,
also think it's on, like, we talk about this all the time on this show where so much stuff is on a technicality.
yeah,
And that's fine. People win Super Bowls on a
yeah,
technicality or, whatever. I think it's one of those situations, when you've been eyeing like a certain pair of shoes in a store that's super expensive
yeah.
and you've tried them on, you love them, you can't stop thinking about them. And you're just like, okay, I'm just going to go in the store. I'm not saying I'm going to get them, but like, I really fucking want these shoes. But if there's another shoe that's come in since I've been in there 2 days prior, and let's say
I'm gonna
it's
give it a look.
yeah, and like it's cheaper and whatever, or maybe this other shoe went on sale, like then I'll get that one.
Yeah.
But you are walking in that store to definitively drop too much money on a pair of shoes.
Yeah,
that you
you're
can't
ready.
afford.
You've accepted that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But in the back of your mind, you're doing the girl math where you've told yourself, but there is a 0.5%
Yeah.
of a chance
Yeah.
that I could walk out with something on the
something
sale
else. Yeah,
rack.
yeah.
This is what's going to happen. You're going to walk out with the shoes that are too expensive and a
And
pair
the
on the
sale,
sale
'cause
rack.
what a great
because-
deal.
But also, at this point, who cares? 1,500, 1,800. It's all the same thing.
Yeah. I also just think that he should not have done what he did. I think it was diabolical. I think that you don't do that. I don't care. Like, you go in there, you keep everything intact, and then you call her later and have a private conversation and end it. You don't do that to your fiance, to your best friend of however many years. And I just think it was everything wrong. Like you just don't do any of that to someone.
Dude,
2
you're
months.
Mr. Therapy.
Yeah.
Go in. And even if you have your mind made up about it, you can have a conversation that
Yeah.
makes the other person feel like they are 50% of this relationship.
Yeah.
It's not just waking up one day and being like, I know that you have given me everything and you have a ring
Yeah.
that I gave you
Yeah.
that says we're going to get married, but I'm out.
Yeah.
Got to get my Q rating up.
Yeah.
Like, F off.
And so when that conversation went from the commercial lease, it so seamlessly transitioned into the discussion about
Yeah.
Lindsay, it all like
Well, it transitioned because he was saying he was
Kyle.
getting a lot of shit for it, and
I
then Kyle
know,
was
but it
like,
was
"Well, the
so
one person
seamless.
that gave you the most shit is or
Yeah.
whatever."
And by the way, Lindsay's going to end up being right.
That's
So-
the thing. If I had a Dave and Buster's ding 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 sign.
By the way, you've brought that up every episode since. So we got to go to Dave and Buster's and
Yeah,
win this for
clearly.
Natalie.
Yeah, I know. If I had one of those, it would be a ding, ding, ding and away right now because it all became clear to me that like this whole thing, the reason that he is like so determined to see this business through, to take all of the risk in the world where everybody who likes him or doesn't like him or couldn't get or doesn't know him from the wall has said like, not the move, horrible risk, all the things. He is obsessed with like he needs validation from Lindsay has been the naysayer of all naysayers about this. He is determined to get this through because otherwise he never did the thing that it's one more chalk it up to one more thing in the bucket that he never followed through with. And I used to think that he just really wanted to prove her wrong, but I think that that's like a simple dumb way of looking at it. I think that he truly she is the alpha to his beta. She has mentored him in a way. She was like, she's the one single relationship that stand apart from all the rest. He's dying for this to work because it will mean validation from her. And validation from her is validation from himself because he knows that she has had his number the whole time and has been the truth speaker in his life. Maybe the only one. He's got his mom on the phone who's saying shit to him like, she's just really still very embarrassed, honey. Like that's the Carl's not coming up with that shit on his own. It's some crazy back in an apartment that is calling him and saying these things because she's still hurt too, you know.
Yeah, I think, listen, obviously, moms be momming. Thank you.
His mom's a little, I think she's not helping.
Well, no. They will always take your side, unless you grew up in my family. And they will tell you how you're wrong and never let you live it down, even if they're wrong. Anyway, boy, and I love them. Love you guys. Happy Mother's Day. But I think like some moms will just to their
Yeah.
detriment say not tell their kid the truth because they have horse blinders on. They can't see
Totally.
it.
I only
And
think all this from that scene where she says the things about being her. All moms, everything you're saying. It's Mother's Day.
No,
all
I
the
do, and I just
things.
think that's Carl's
Yeah.
mom. I think like she might be a logical person in every other area of her life, or might not.
But
Who knows?
do you know
But
Carl's mom? Have you remember Carl's mom? Right?
Yes.
And you think she's logical in every other area?
I know. I said she could be. Who knows?
She's not.
We know.
Yeah, I think you missed some episodes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she's gonna go to the nth degree to be like, you're
Yeah.
right, Carl. And that, by the way, that's also why Carl is how he is.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I do always say, like, I could walk down the steps of my parents' house, think like categorically looking like the most beautiful person in the state of New Jersey. And I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying like I could be really having an on day.
Yeah.
And my dad would be like, you got a zit on your chin? It's disgusting. Like there is no, like they will always tell me the truth, which keeps me hungry and like a hustler. And I'm sure it's given me other issues. Some other.
Sweet of you to look at that way.
That's why my socks and underwear are color organized. What, Jesse Lally? Okay?
Oh, maybe Jesse Lally's parents did that to him.
Well, fucking grow up, okay? Figure it out. I did. Anyway, after they talk about soft bar, I don't remember how it happened, but there was this moment. Again, we were like talking about Lexi and Jesse, that their whole debacle, and there was this moment where there were two moments during this episode. One happens at the end, which I will wait to talk about, but where Jesse's it's hiding in plain sight, Jesse. The answer to your question, it's not even hiding. Like he says, I really haven't been in any relationships. I was in love with, like, this relationship is like his second real relationship, which is Banuki's.
Yeah.
It lasted 5 weeks. You were a horrible boyfriend or exclusive partner, whatever you guys were. And before that, it was his high school girlfriend who he was in love with, who cheated on him. The photo was everything.
It says everything we already knew.
I saw that and I was like, oh, Nat's taking great pleasure in this photo. And he's like, and that's why I have trust issues, because the high school girlfriend slept with his best friend. And his roommate said, oh, buddy, that broke your heart. And now you never want to be in a committed relationship again. And Jesse's like, nice story. Is that the truth? I don't think so. And
But it sounds good. It's a good working theory.
It is. No, it's not even a working theory. It's just, it's a law. Like, what is that? Like when you were in science class, like first it's a theory, then we test it, and then it becomes a scientific law. This is a relationship law, Jesse. This is what has happened. This is the truth of what's going on. But you're such a idiot right now that you can't see the truth when it's staring you in the face. And yes, of course, there's the fame of it all and all of that stuff. But what your roommate is saying, the defense's case holds water. That's all I'm saying. And Jesse's too much of a ding dong to recognize the truth when it's just right there. Here's the answer. Go left and you'll get there. And he's like, I think I'm gonna reverse it.
I think that everything you're saying would be totally true for anyone that's like not 18. But also I know that this kind of happened to you, and that was always like I'm still like dealing with all the debris of that. Okay.
Not all of it.
Hey, what? Do tell. Share. What happened? I'm listening.
No,
That's Kiki.
I have an ex person that I won't say her name, but her name is so and so, who slept with all my friends. Yeah. So
I just come from the like, and maybe I'm totally dumbing this down because I know that is a real thing for you. I know that trust me, I know.
Not so much anymore, but like it's not.
Well,
not a
thank
thing.
God it's only been 15 years. You're on the Carl healing plan.
Oh, you are. That's true. Oh my God.
Asexual healing.
No.
I am just from the camp of like, you got cheated on when you were 18? Who didn't? Like, everyone was nailing everyone when they were 18.
Let it go, ho.
Yeah, like this is like.
Also, I wasn't 18. It was older, a little bit older.
Yeah,
than that.
you were like in your 20s,
Yeah,
and
and it was
also
like
Mike was a late bloomer.
Yeah, and it was like the first girl that I was like.
And Mike was cute.
Yeah.
But he wasn't
He's
a Jesse.
still cute.
No. I
I'm
mean,
kidding,
like, this Jesse was not cute. So I'm not saying he was a late bloomer because he had a awkward childhood. Like, Mike was just like, he just
I do what
little
I want.
innocent.
No,
Yeah.
I went to church when
He was a churchy.
But just that time in your high school years when you're supposed to be banging, I had moved away. While I moved away, my two best friends got into church. I came back and I was like, "Yo, let's party." And they're like, "Well, let me tell you what Jesus says about that." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So like the only way to hang out with them was to go to church. I spent a couple years in church until, well, we don't need to get into why, but
No, just say it. It's so funny.
I had the best youth pastor in the whole world. I really did. He was amazing. Dave Cheek. He lives in Florida now.
You didn't need to call him by name.
Yeah, maybe not. But it wasn't even
You
Dave
could
Cheek.
beep that
That's
out
not
if you-
his actually name. So his name's Dave, but whatever.
Is this going to be like Dave who touched your dong?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He was literally the most amazing. He was like the youth pastor that was like, just here's how we do it. Live good. Someone's going to ask you why shit works out for you. If you want, tell them it's this reason. Like he wasn't like a shove it down their throat kind of guy. And I was like, all right, I get with that. So we would have conversations all the time. And he would always, every time, he's the smartest dude I ever met. He would have a perfect answer for every question I asked. And literally a couple years in, I was like, I got one for him. And I went in and I was like, dinosaurs in the Bible, where are they? And he literally stumbled on his words and was like, well, there's one part, what, just hold on. So there's a thing that taught, and I
Wait,
was
it's not in the King George Bible. Let me get the.
I'm like, bro, I think I'm tapping out. So whatever. But that's
not why.
what?
Didn't your youth pastor like run off with the church secretary?
Oh, he did, but I didn't give a shit about that.
They ran off to the Natural Museum of History.
No, they did not.
Dinosaurs this whole time.
No.
However, 200 years in, I thought that it was because
No.
because you hate cheaters.
I mean, listen, I do hate cheaters, but like the head pastor did run off. He had 3 kids. He ran off with the church secretary. They stole all the cash in the till, and they took the kids out of school and crossed state lines, which is
Felony?
Felony child abduction or whatever.
Yes, it's
like
kidnapping.
Yeah, kidnapping. And they caught him and they brought him back, and he had to like do a whole apology in front of the church and everything. Crosby and I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
hilarious.
this whole
All
thing was
that-
like
I mean,
you
listen,
trusted a guy that
you
ended
can
up
keep
doing
that.
like the worst things, like aside from murder.
No. And these were 2 different people. Dave, like, no, Dave was our youth pastor. The other dude was the head pastor. Nobody trusted this dude as far as like, he was always a little weird and creepy. And like when that thing happened, I don't know if anybody but his wife were like,
That's
Really?
You know,
horrible.
like,
She
I
was
don't-
banging. Secretary was banging.
dude,
By the way,
I don't mean
she got
that.
over cheating faster than Mike did.
Yeah.
That's true.
but I
Wow.
also hadn't been cheated on at this point. I was just a young pup. My point is, late bloomer, when I was supposed to be humping, I was like saving myself for Jesus.
Well, that's a little gay.
Yeah, whatever.
I was a late
But-
bloomer and I wasn't saving myself for anyone. I was just like, if this shit goes left, I cannot handle that. I got a lot of things to get done.
I was like the last out of all my friends to do it. And I was so bored of that I literally went to a party and found the hottest guys there. And I'm like, you follow me. That's how I did it. Cause I was so tired of being the last standing virgin.
Which just really cements my theory that it is so easy for a girl to get laid. You literally
Oh,
could walk
yeah,
out onto
yeah.
the corner. The first guy you see, you'd be like, real quick. You'd be like, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just so different. Men are really from Mars and
Yeah.
women really are from Venus.
But yeah, I was much older, and so like it really, and this was like the first girl that I was like, oh yeah, no, this is like a real girlfriend that I was like, oh, we're in love.
But wait, you were disagreeing with the thing that I was like, no, this is like, Jesse, your roommate has given you a real nugget of wisdom, and he's like, it's a nice story, but I don't believe in fairy tales, or like that's not the truth.
No, I think that everything that Jesse is doing is just all about the like servicing his like ego and his boner, and like I just don't think that anything that he's doing has anything to do with like his high school girlfriend nailing someone else. Like I think that when he was saying that to the producer about like, oh, my friend's got this theory, but like it's a good working theory, like that's he might use that. Like, you know, when I talked about Jax being like this group chat that they're in, how dumb we think it all is, that like they're all, you're gonna talk like you're gonna talk about things that you're doing behind your wife's back on a group chat with like 30,000 dudes on it, half of them who are married to like the circle of women that are in this group. But for Jax, he's the guy that's like, if I don't, what's the point of nailing 10 strippers if you can't tell everyone about it? Like that's, and so I feel like Jesse with the producer is just trying to come like, it's a good working theory, so I'm going to go with it. Like he's too dumb to even know, like, don't tell the producer, go with the working theory. And you don't have to say it's a working theory that you're going with. Like that's the way that I took it, was that he was basically like, I think I'll just go with that. Like,
well, you know, how I always say, like, it's never just one thing.
yeah,
That's what I mean by like, I'm not saying this is the absolute reason why he's like this. Even with his, history with, getting over, being cured from
Yeah.
cancer and all that stuff. That's one of the slices of the pie that is adding up to why he acts this way. I do also think that what his roommate said, I don't think it's 100% the reason, not at all, but I think it's part of it. I definitely think it's in the soup.
all right.
I think
Yeah,
he
I
wants
know.
to be famous. I also think he does have weird commitment issues. I also think he's one of those guys that's like, wait a minute. If I like you, then maybe you're not that great. Cause I'm like, those guys that are like, what's that Groucho Marx thing? I would never want to be a member of a group that would have me like as part of the
Yeah.
club. Like I do think there are certain dudes that as soon as they get the girl that they've been chasing,
Yeah.
they don't want them anymore because they're just like, wait a minute, you think I'm cool? I'm a loser. So then you must be a loser. On to the next.
Yeah. I definitely can get down with that. I don't think Jesse is that deep. I really think that Jesse is a walking boner. I'm not giving, like, people might go, oh, you're not giving him any credit. I'm not. I don't think it's there. Last week was my first week, but I literally just said, this guy is real dumb. Like, I think he's stupid. And I
like
think
unintelligent.
yeah, I thought I had made that clear last week.
You definitely did, and I definitely agreed with you. And felt a little bad because you don't ever want to be like, oh, that guy's dumb. But then I say it all the time. People in my business, they're like, oh, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Not true. There are so many stupid questions, and I say this all the time. That's not true. There's many stupid questions, and we need to stop giving people a pass for asking stupid questions and being stupid. Like, I get it. Some people can't help themselves. Most people can help themselves because everything we've learned so far on Earth is right here, and most of us have one of these. So, and again, people are gonna be like, "Oh, people don't have resources, they can't read, and they don't have opportunity." Yeah, 100%, 100%. Most people do. So when that thing happened, when he was like, "Oh, it sounds like I'm not buying it, but it sounds like a good working theory," I went straight to that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, bro, you are straight up just a dumb kid.
Yeah.
You are a dumb kid."
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like your roommate gave you like one of the answers as to why you are the way you are. And you're just like, it's cute, bro, but nah. Like he's just,
I totally get what you're saying. I guess I just don't think that he has even like maybe he is too dumb to know that he's affected by his yeah, that
no, I'm saying
like,
he
that
is,
could be a
doesn't
thing.
get that he's affected by it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
no,
a-
that I don't totally throw that out. I just still think that he's looking for fame and looking for whatever is going to like be the most fun on this day. Not even tomorrow. Jesse doesn't think about tomorrow. He doesn't remember yesterday.
Yeah.
Jesse's all about like yeah.
We're saying the same thing 100% because I even said, I was like, no, obviously he wants the note of fame,
Yeah.
girls sliding into his DMs. I just think it's like it's a bunch of things and he's too dumb. I feel bad saying it
dumb.
to realize like the answer's right in front of your face. Your roommate said it. There's something that happens at the end of the episode where again it's like you just said it, but you're too much of a dummy to figure it out. Okay, so now we go into the girls talking. I loved when Lexi was like, I think he's worth the training. And I was like, oh, right, because she's been watching us because he's a big dumb puppy that needs Caesar Milan in his life.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to, you need a partner, not a project, ladies. and gentlemen and non-binary alike, everyone, don't invest in someone's promise.
Yeah.
Invest in who they are today. I know that sounds terrible, but like,
No.
I think we get ourselves in real cockamamie relationships and then you look back and you're like, well, I've invested so much time because I saw their potential. What is there today? What is in the bank account? And I don't mean just with money. I'm using this as an example. Like, what is in the bank account today? Because as much as you say you want to give me everything, I can't cash a check that's post-dated tomorrow,
Yeah.
buddy. So what is Jesse giving you today? It's not training him. Like my mom always says, you know, like, God forbid your dad goes first. I'm never marrying again. I don't have it in me to train another man. It's like, come trained.
Yeah.
There's the toilet. Pee in it, not around it. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You have a pointer. Like, come on.
What do you think about that?
That it's hard to pee in a toilet?
It's, no, but
For men and women, by the way. I'm not saying that, you know, like
Being in toilets is hard for men.
no,
and
no,
women?
no. I'm saying like for like training someone, like,
Oh, sure.
you know,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think you're asking a lot of someone to come 100% ready to a relationship of any kind.
no, I'm not saying that let's not take this out of context. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that like you need to be the most perfect example of a human being that's ever walked on planet Earth. I'm saying like you are someone who is a stable person who is not a mess and you've got something to offer me as opposed to like,
But
oh,
let's also keep in mind that we're watching a TV show and that these guys on this TV show, a lot of them have been on it for a long time. The new ones seem pretty savvy. Reality's been around for a long time. Nobody's going on a reality show totally oblivious to what it could mean for them and
Yeah.
their careers and their finances. So, and then, but most of their life happens off camera, right? So Jesse could be, like, we all loved Jesse up until a few weeks ago.
I never liked him. Never liked him.
That's not true. Up until a few weeks ago, we thought Jesse was the best.
Never liked him.
So what Lexi is saying is like we've talked about this before. Like there's just got to be more good than bad. That you're not going to get 100% good. That just doesn't exist, right? You got to be with someone who's more good than bad, right? And then the bad, it's got to be bad that you can deal with, right?
yeah, that's my theory, the pie theory.
Yeah. So clearly Lexi thinks that there's more good pie than bad pie. Hey, pie.
No, I don't think she does. I think she is talking herself into it. I don't
Whatever,
I think
like-
if she's really using her noodle.
Right. But that's what she's explaining to everyone. Like,
I'm just saying, like how Paige had said, if this guy is looking at you saying, I'm changing myself for you, Paige said,
Yeah.
hightail it out of there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a valid point. I feel as strongly as like
what if someone
picking
did
a
change
partner
for you,
instead of a
though?
prod. I'm saying I feel as strongly as about what I'm saying. I'm not talking about what Paige is saying. I'm saying I think finding a partner and not a project is the healthier way to enter into a relationship.
Of course. But you don't get that all the time. Like, it is a project. Like a relationship is a project. It's a lifelong project.
Right, but you can be building a project with someone who's done the work on themselves as opposed to someone who, like, every time you have an argument with them, they shut down because they don't know how to communicate.
Okay.
No?
Yeah.
Or no, I was
definitely.
looking at Nat, but you can also answer.
No.
I just didn't know her thought on it.
No. All of that. I'm in my conspiracy brain where I'm now just convinced from what Lexi has shown us and like how brilliant she's how masterfully she's approached this entire thing for so long now and how she did last weekend. I just have to. I have a really hard time not assuming that she's literally letting this relationship just go till the end of the season because she got home and talked to her management team and they were like,
Mom and sis.
or she doesn't even need to talk to you. She just watches enough because like what you were saying, like nobody's going into this now how the Bethanys did, you know, like
Yeah.
everyone's had an entire masterclass, many masterclasses, you know,
I'm sure there's colleges giving classes on how to,
how to reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How to wiggle your way through
Reality 101.
Yeah. Because it would be hard to take everything that she's done and be like, oh, now she's going to take him back again. Like,
and she
I get
doesn't.
that so
By
many
the end
girls.
of the episode, like you can tell the whole episode, she's just like, what
Like, oh,
and
I
then
think I jumped the gun a little
yeah,
too much
not
on
even
it.
that. Like from the moment they walked in, I wasn't like I don't think I was buying the whole thing, and I think
Even
that's why
yeah,
I'm
me
not like
neither.
super bummed about it because she just like I needed a ride and this is a TV show and not to jump ahead, but we watched Watch What Happens Live. She was on and she was like, I just found it better to finish the season with Jesse as opposed to without Jesse.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So like she said, like
Totally forgot she
She did
said
say
that.
I watched that, and then I also listened to the Nick Viall thing. She did say something
I
different
haven't
on Nick
listened to Nick
Viall.
Viall yet.
She was just like, she's like, definitely like not a flaw. She didn't use that word, but just kind of like, I have a really big heart and I forgive too easily. And clearly, in hindsight, like I shouldn't have gone back that last time. That's how she explained it. So
Listen, that is a very typical girl thing,
totally.
1,000 times over. So like I wouldn't be shocked either way. She either just did that girl thing where we just go one last round, or she like was over it last weekend, but then realized that I've got 2 episodes left and why not
I think
just
they're mutually
dominate the whole thing.
exclusive. Those what she's doing. I think in her mind, she was like, okay, he has been saying all this shit. We've had 18 hours of conversation and I got one more week.
Yeah.
Like, I think she was doing the math of all of it. And that's what
Yeah,
happened.
no, that makes sense. That makes sense too. Yeah. When Kyle says the line, I had never considered the possibility that she might not be ready when I was, but that when I was ready, she might not no longer be or something. And I was just like, when I watched it, all I was thinking was Courtney is going to go ape shit on this because of like your whole thing has been always about like guys will just decide one day I'd like to get married now. And if the girl isn't, they like can't even comprehend that like, wait, but no, but I just
Wait,
said that
something's not going my way because I'm ready.
you've been waiting for this your whole life, baby. I'm ready to give it all to you. It kind of blows their minds like that I hadn't thought about that.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, and I think that probably happens a ton. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just like wishful thinking, that I wanted this to be the reaction. But I got like I just got the I don't know. I got that vibe that he was just like. It's funny that people don't realize that when people are like, "Oh, we're gonna get married and spend the rest of our lives together." Yeah, that's what everybody wants. But shit happens. Whatever. But spending the rest of your life with someone, like, whew, people change and people change all the time, multiple times in a lifetime. And sometimes you change into somebody that you said you would never be or whatever, right? Like, I remember we talk about it all the time. I have a friend that I work with, Austin, and he's much younger than I am. But when I first started working on AGT, he was like, "Oh, how long have you and Natalie been together?" And I don't know, it had been, I don't know, 12 or 13 years at that point. And I told him, and he was like, "Wow, that's like multiple stages of a person's life." And I never really thought of it that way. And I was like, dang, that's pretty deep. But yeah, there's multiple stages of a life. And I think that it would be great if people realized that before signing up for
Yeah.
the lifelong journey. But whatever, it happens. I think Kyle was just having that realization in real time, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was mad about it or like, and again, I agree with like most dudes being like, all right, I did what I needed to do. Come on, pop this ring on.
Little
Let's
lady,
go to the
let's
chopper.
march.
Little lady. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I think, and again, I don't even know if I think, I hope, because I just want to. I want to like Kyle. I want to see. I have a note later that I'm like, I'm so into adult Kyle and adult Amanda and
Me
adult.
too. I
Like,
love that.
yeah, dude, I'm into the adults. I don't want any of the new kids anymore. Lexi's equivalent, like she's an adult. She can come. But like, I'm done with the bratties. I'm done with the brats and the idiot boys and the idiot girls. I just want to see
Yeah.
Paige go do her
Me
business.
too,
I want
Mike.
to
I'm
see
with ya.
the bikini. I want to see Loverboy. I want to see Kyle helping her. I want to see Lexi and her family. Like, I'm into City House now. Like, I'm yeah.
a good name,
I'm into the adulting now. I'm pumped on it. Did anyone think Kyle's nuts were going to be not good? Like, was anybody surprised that his nuts were like, no, bro, we got you?
Overachievers,
Yeah.
overworking.
Yeah.
The only reason I was a little bit nervous about it is because he does go so hard and sorry. um, he drinks a lot and he's out. Like, I don't think he's got good sleep hygiene or any of that stuff. And so I was just worried, oh, dude, have you been burning the candle at both ends? And maybe that has affected your swimmers.
Listen, we didn't hear anything about the quality of those 120.
Right. And it is
So,
quality
yeah,
that
exactly.
we're looking for.
They've
Yeah.
all got an extra ear.
Yeah, totally.
Two tails.
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
be Tom's. Didn't Tom's sperm have abnormally weird heads or
Yeah,
something?
weird shaped heads. And it
Weird-shaped
was like,
heads.
how can you have a weird shaped
Are
head
you
coming from
saying that
Schwartzy?
12% of my sperm have abnormally shaped heads?
That's such a
Yes,
Schwartz thing to have happen.
totally.
Okay, so now we're at the 2 dinners, which I like when they do that, when they split up
Yeah.
the cast. Mike doesn't.
I don't mind, but like I would like to know why, what happened? Like, what are we doing? What?
Do you know that Emerald was at one of them?
Dude,
No.
I read that.
Well,
Someone
he's not
wrote
on the show
that in
anymore,
the
apparently. Like,
comments,
what the heck?
They like scrubbed him out of that episode.
Which is so weird that he hasn't really been back since they slut shamed him in the backyard.
I know. If I'm him, I might have left that conversation that day and not really thought about it in the moment, but on the drive home and on the week to come and whatever, I would have been like, this show,
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just where I'm at.
Yeah,
now.
maybe he was
And-
just over it. He was like, I tried it, not right for me. F off, I'm out.
Yeah. But
Which is a
like,
bummer. If
yeah.
that's true, that's such a fucking bummer. And like Sierra pissed me off so much this episode. If that's true, I might be out on Sierra for a while.
So I was wondering because since Sierra, like the one that he was at, I don't think was the one with Sierra. I think it was the other one.
Yeah.
So if they did, like, if
How do
they're,
you scrub someone out of a 4-person dinner?
I know, but I guess in some shots you can like see his arm in some shots. Like I didn't,
Wow.
I didn't see it. I read about it, so I had watched it already. So I don't know.
Oh, I want to go back and look.
But now I'm wondering if he was at the opposite dinner of Sierra because maybe he was like, maybe that's why they split up dinners. Like or maybe not. Maybe that has nothing to do with anything.
I feel like
Yeah.
you get more in-depth conversations
Yeah.
between different castmates when the dinner is smaller.
Yeah.
Like you just, not everyone's going to get time to do a monologue if you're
Yeah.
at dinner with 8 people.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, my 2 like shining moments from both each like dinner separately were from the couple, from Amanda and Kyle. I thought it was great advice when, and this drives me crazy when someone does this, like, right, and that's what they did to this person, or that, just putting like zero accountability, zero thought into how we got here. Because I always say, even if like someone is 99% wrong, the other person still has 1% to own up for.
Yeah.
Like that I did this wrong. And let's think critically like that, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought Kyle gave amazing feedback to
Yeah.
what's his nuts. And what's his nut? Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of someone who only has one nut.
Paige did it, and so if Paige can do it,
Yeah.
I'm
And anyone
doing
can.
it.
But,
Yeah.
one of my friends growing up, Dan, hey Dan, who's now married to a girl named Courtney. Dan and I used to make out. He got testicular cancer when he was really young, and this was down where I grew up in South Jersey. And there's miniature golf courses all over the island, and so we did a fundraiser called Putt for a Nut. And there was a little testicle in the tee with the golf clubs over it for the merch.
I love it.
It's a great Jersey thing, I just think. Anyway, we love merch in Jersey. And then the other thing was I loved when everyone, like West got a hug after he like opened up about his friend, and Amanda goes, my hugs cost money.
Yeah.
What did that mean though?
I think she was
Like,
just
I-
being cheeky, and I just thought it
Yeah,
was like,
definitely.
oh,
I think she was
Amanda's-
just like, I'm not getting up.
I just thought it was sweet this whole episode to like see her come back, like from last episode to this episode. I feel like she like is in the game again and coming back to life, and you can see that she's really happy. And
Yeah, you know what she
I like
said
her.
when she was talking about the pregnancy or like not wanting to get pregnant right now and all the reasons and like the postpartum and then this and I'm just trying, I just got well and I'm just trying to, and then she goes, just one more year of being hot and happy.
Mhm.
I love
Like,
that.
of course, because of course women also do take that into consideration. Like, am I going to be out here in my bikini for all the years to like I am right now? Like Amanda seems to be phased by nothing. Like her body is still in, like she's got these giant boobs, but like nothing else. Like a woman with giant boobs normally has a giant ass and unless you've got the bolt-ons, but like there's just you. Amanda has been a very lucky person.
Anatomically speaking.
Yeah, great bod and doesn't seem to change any year, and she seems to be very blasé about a workout. So I think that is smart of her to think like,
Well, Nia
gives
said
this
it on
up?
the Valley. She's like, my body is thrashed from having
Yeah.
kids. Especially, I just knocked out a set of twins. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have another baby now so that then I can
Yeah.
just do it and get my body back to myself. And I don't even, yes, of course, it's about weight and like wanting to feel like yourself again, whatever your happy place is, what your
Yeah.
weight is. But like my best friend, she breastfed her kids for so long. Not they weren't like 17, but I mean like it was a solid year
Yeah.
of breastfeeding a kid and
Yeah.
you're tethered to your child. It's amazing if you can do it, all the things. But like at a certain point, I would imagine you just want your body back to you.
Yeah. She is on a show that is all about hanging out at a pool weekend upon weekend upon weekend in new bathing suits. And she just started a bikini company. I'm sure she'd like to wear those and whatever. I'm just
She can
saying,
get into
like,
maternity
it's not the-
bikinis next
it's not
season.
I understand why anybody in entertainment thinks about the timing of like when they're going to get pregnant.
Only because you guys have been doing this to me for the last 5 months. There's a episode in season 1 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where everyone goes to Camille's house for a little barbecue party.
Oh my God, this is my proudest moment. I know what you're
And
going to say.
she's like in her sweet little bikini swimming in front of the guys, and Kyle's like, and then she's like, I'm not getting, I'm not ready to be, kind of like that.
Well,
Kinda
you know,
like that.
Kyle,
Didn't think about
because she
that.
just
I'm not
so
ready.
proud.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
Kyle had just had Portia and Camille had surrogates. She
Yeah.
didn't carry her kids.
Yeah, well, Camille's crazy, so.
Well, and I think because she maybe couldn't.
She
but
could it. And
yeah.
I would
know.
love a surrogate.
Listen,
Like,
we have 25 minutes. Just throwing that out
we have
there.
25 minutes. Oh my good God.
Yeah.
And there is so much to cover.
Okay, keep it going. When Sierra gets up, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, and she gets up in the middle of West's moment. I want to say more of that, Sierra. Like if you can't handle like if you find yourself starting to feel vulnerable at all to these dudes who have done you no solids,
Yeah.
get up and leave. And I loved that.
And you could see she was getting affected by it
Yeah.
because she remembers that. Like in my mind, when I was watching her, when he was saying like, and I went to Sierra's and just like cried on her bed.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no right way to grieve. There was just like the chick in me who may or may not have been through something similar. Like not exactly, but like I could so empathize with Sierra
Yeah.
in that moment where I'm just like I fucking hate that I still at some part of me like have a feeling for you.
Yeah.
And you're reminding me of this night that like I'm thinking, oh my God, like this is real. We got closer. And then the next week you're ending things because too many hot chicks that you don't even know that mean nothing to you slid in your DMs. And I just feel so stupid. How could I do that? And I don't want to go back. And also this isn't about me because I know your friend died, but now you brought this up. So how can I not think of it? Like
Yeah.
I felt like all of that was hitting her in that moment.
Yeah.
And I also was wondering if maybe she was done a little dirty by editing because it looked like she got up in the middle of him speaking. And I'm just curious to know like if that actually was what happened. It could have been. We know things are edited. I didn't even know Imrul
It
was at the
seemed like
dinner.
it seemed like, because I thought that for a hot second. I was like, I bet she, when I watched it the second time, I was like, I'm going to pay attention to this to be like, did she say like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom at a
Yeah.
certain, and then just get up and go? It seemed pretty obvious that she just got up and left. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was in the middle of him talking, but, and then even afterwards, Amanda was like, dude, you got up and bailed. Did you have to pee or were you like, was it weird? And
Yeah.
she was like, it was both, you know. I got feelings. Sarah and I are in a fight right now.
Does she know?
Does she? I don't know. She probably not. She wouldn't even care.
Sierra's in a fight with everyone and herself.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, like I'm so just back and forth with her right now because one scene she's pissing me off and I'm like, dude, fuck off. And then the next scene I'm like, oh, there's something going on with you. And then the next scene, West is like saying this real thing, and they cut to her and I'm like, oh, you're having real feelings about like this is bothering you in so many ways. Totally fine with that. Her getting up and leave, I was like, yeah, no, fine, totally fine with
Yeah.
that. And even that, I kind of went back. I was like, dude, off. And then I'm just all over the place with her. I'm not even all over the place. I'm super mad, and then I'm totally understanding, and then I'm super mad, and then I'm totally understanding. It's just back and forth ping ponging between those two feelings with her, and it's making me cuckoo.
I understand why you feel that way with her 100%. I think I over empathize with her. And so that's why I will give her more leeway because I get, I just, and again, it's not rational. I'm not saying it's right. And I more so think how you feel with her this year, ping ponging back and forth, is more logical. But for whatever reason, when I see her in some of these situations, I'm just like, I got you. I get that.
I get it. And I think that's why I'm like, get a hold of it. Because you're on television. Everything, like I said it earlier, everything that Sierra does as a real live girl walking through this life is all perfectly, like, I would never tell her shit shinola about any of it. Like, she's doing it all at the best, or maybe better than like any of us are. This is all about, it's just there's a person that is an entertainment character on a television screen. And I want to start being better about acknowledging that, because a lot of my takes on here are from a TV show perspective of a person that is the realest that they can possibly be of a person on your screen. But I would never tell her any of the shit that I say on here in real life. I wouldn't expect any of it from her because I would do all the same shit she's doing.
That's why I'm saying, like, I think I over empathize because I'm in that mindset with it. But
yeah.
Does anyone have any other notes from the dinner? Even though I could dissect them all for
I know, me too.
2 hours.
I know, and this is my fault. I cut us short today because we're trying to get out of here we're trying to have a shorter edit for Mother's Day because I have to get the step in
Gotta
early.
go see Mama Gina.
Yeah, and then Courtney has to get to a thing tonight, and I told her to come at the latest possible moment because I cannot be trusted to just be freeballing with.
I said it. I said, let me show up at 3, and you said 3:30 exclamation point.
I know, thank God, or we would be like, yeah, it's gonna cut short, but like
we'd still be on the first scene when they all walked in the house. By the way, they fixed the door.
Yeah. Yes.
Amanda, when she walked in.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you, my heart was so warm when Jesse sneezed and he's like, sometimes when I get,
Sometimes I sneeze when I get turned on.
yeah, something like that. I was like, that just made me giggle. I think it's so weird, but it just made me laugh. And then Kyle's the muffin man by himself and he's like, oops, I ate the whole muffin.
Oh, no.
And then Paige is sleeping with her hand on a loaf of frozen bread.
Yeah.
The whole thing gave me the giggles
Yeah.
and it made me remember why I love this show so much.
Yeah.
Because you give me drama and you make me laugh. I'm in till the cows come home.
Yeah.
I'm the muffin.
I know. I love that. That is one thing. Kyle and I both are the
Midnight snackers.
Oh my God. Multiple times. There's chores I do at 3 a.m. because I know that I already know I'm waking up at that time to get up and get a drink of some peach juice. And
I didn't know this about you. And Nat and I travel a lot together. I'll bring her on my work trips with me. And then we'll also go to Palm Springs and all the things. But I remember when we first started going on these trips, I'm like, wait, what? I thought we did all the dishes before we went to sleep last night. Why is there a cereal bowl in the sink? And Nat's like, oh, I was up at 2:30 and I had cereal bowl. I folded the laundry. I was going to vacuum, but I don't want to wake you up. I'm like, oh, could you not sleep? And she's like, no, I do this every night.
I can't sleep. So yeah, that's part of it. But like now I just plan for it because that's when I clean the coffee pot.
I was just gonna say, like, I'll go to bed so tired and be like, go up and be like, oh man, the coffee pot is like got shit in it. I'm like, I'll do it in the morning, and I don't think that. But
Thank you for being
yeah,
honest, Mike.
let's pretend that I did. And then every day I get up and it's spotless and clean and ready for a whole new pot. And it's this one.
Yeah, your coffee pot.
There's a little cottage
Yeah.
cheese on the counter and maybe a wrapper for some cheese Krispies and a spoon and a perfectly clean coffee pot.
Oh my God, wait, no, you do. I totally forgot that she would always set up the Oh man, I miss traveling with you. She would set up the coffee pot and she would fold the napkin and put a little spoonie there for my coffee for the next morning. And then also
I've been
a
trying to
lot of
tell you.
times she would just make it for me.
16.
We were like, if you could choose your sexuality, I would be a lesbian so fast your head would spin. Traveling with Natalie, it's like I would make the lunch, and when I turn around, I'm like, oh, she's like, I already put it in the car. I'm like, yes, you did, girl. I would cook every night. She didn't care what I cooked. She would compliment it. She would crack a beer for me, and she did the dishes. Like, what?
I didn't have to cook anything.
I'm like, oh, hey, you want to go here for dinner? She's like, I'll go wherever you want to go. Like,
Yeah.
we are such good people in a relationship together. Anyway,
Well, too bad.
I digress.
I
All
got
of
you.
that just made me giggle. I just wanted to highlight that because I soups appreciate it.
When they are in bed afterwards, they get home from dinner and she's like, Amanda goes, I thought that for some reason, I thought you guys were mad at me this week. I don't know why, but I just thought you were mad. And she's like, I didn't do anything, but I thought you were mad at me. And Sarah goes, I could see that. and like, she could have been totally joking, but I don't know if she was.
I was the same. I was like, is
No, I
that a
thought that
funny
was-
Sierra joke, or is she be? Because she said something after that too, like a follow up.
Yeah, she was like,
zinger.
and she's like, for what? And she's like, I'll think of it, or
Yeah,
something like
something,
that.
yeah.
But Paige was totally laughing, so I know that Paige was joking. But like, I feel like I'm wondering if Sierra is irritated at Amanda for bringing up this whole thing. Like, kind of remember we talked, like, I'm like, I loved Amanda. I haven't seen her put a story into motion in so long,
Totally.
and like be like the architect of like. And then cause dominoes to fall that like basically gave us our entire third act.
And it was
like,
worthy of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't nonsense. Like she brought something good to the table.
yeah. And so I wonder if she's irritated, like things are weird now because you asked Jesse about this thing and now I'm the topic of discussion, and I wonder if she is mad.
Valid.
It could be super valid, but again, there's so many little things. And there's a gajillion hours of footage for every week of 42 minutes
Yeah.
that we see. So every single thing that you see means something, no matter what. There's no room for anything else. And this could be as simple as like, well, Paige ended up burning her hand on a curling iron, so go back and put in the comment about the curling iron before they leave, because she said there's
Sarah
I don't
goes,
know
can you
what
grab my
it,
curling iron? And so Paige got it for Sierra. Then Sierra plugged it in. She left it plugged in. So when Paige got home to unplug it from her bathroom, she grabbed it and it was still hot.
Okay, I didn't know about all that. I couldn't figure out what they were saying. But Paige gets home, burns her hand on the deal, right? Goes back. Everybody, the rest of them get home. They all run up into bed. And when Paige comes back, she's like, I burned my hand on your curling iron. And Amanda's like, oh my God, are you like just doing what anybody would do if you
Yeah.
just heard that someone grabbed a curling iron? And if you've ever grabbed a curling iron, you know exactly what that feels like.
It's hell.
A hot dick in your hand. No, not like a fun hot
Take your
dick.
word for it.
No. Sierra's laughing, like like literally giggling about it. So there's just like, and then that thing she says to her, man, there's so many little
And
things
then
that
she
I'm
goes
like,
and sleeps in the other room.
Paige does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she
There's
can't
a
sleep in her
ton of
sock drawer.
things in, but like this is only the last couple of weeks. How many years has Sierra been there? 4 years now, 5 years. They've been
5
sleeping in the
years,
same
yeah.
bed the last couple of weeks. Paige needs to sleep alone.
Well, she has been stressed. She has been sleeping alone from time to time.
Fair
just
enough.
Just throwing it out.
But there's something's going on with Sierra. There's something going on with her. I don't know. And I said, I'm like, I don't know if she's just over it. I don't know if there's like something real going on in her life that she's just not willing to talk about on the show, or if she's like with them rule, like, no, you know what? F this place, these people. I'm never going to get a real stranger dude that I want to be with while I'm on this dumbass show acting
Yeah.
like a dumbass with all these dumbasses.
It's
Yeah.
a growing pains season. Like if you think about it, Paige is so overwhelmed with what she's got going on with
I
the
know,
tour.
but I don't
and
agree
Craig.
with that.
Well,
I
hold
don't
on.
agree with everyone else having growing pains.
No, what I'm saying is like everyone's kind of siphoned off this season more so than ever. And so I wonder because Sierra definitely she's a great character. We love her, whatever, but like she's not an alpha like character. She does well with people. And I think it's like Amanda and Kyle, they were in Italy. She's not as like active she just woke up, kind of, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
gave us a storyline last episode, but she's been a little bit more quiet. And then Paige has kind of been in her own world with her anxiety and all of this. So I just wonder if Sierra then found, like, I'm going to hang out with Jesse and we're going to party and have fun and laugh, because Paige doesn't want to do that because Amanda's not here because I'm not really friends with Lexi or whatever it is. And then she gets
Burned.
creamed
Yeah.
by doing that. And so I feel like she doesn't really know where she fits completely because her best friend is depressed. Her other best friend's not really in the game. She's not friends with Lexi. She can only hang out with Carl so much because,
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think I think she's finding a hard place to find her footing this season because of that.
Paige says on Watch What Happens Live, I text with Lindsay more than I text with anyone, which is one thing to say, like, Lindsay and I text all the time. That is one thing. But to say I text with Lindsay more than anyone on the show, I was like, you've switched life phases. You're relating to Lindsay more. Does that also say something about where you're at with Sierra? Because these two women couldn't be more different. And to say I text with her more than anyone, like it's just one more point in the thing of like something's going on with Sierra and
you can still love someone and be whatever, close or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, when your friends have kids, if you don't have a kid, it's different. It's not bad, but for a few years, you're going to be asking questions that you're like, oh, what are the terrible twos like? Or,
yeah.
when my cat was 2, I noticed a difference. Like, it's just different. So I just wonder
People
if what
become
you're saying.
friends that had no, like Lala talks about how like her and Sheena had nothing in common. And then once she's like, there is something about both of us being mothers that like nothing else mattered anymore. Like these two women, like were just not. And then she said the same thing they asked her about Kristen and Sheena, like not really being great friends, or even her and Lala and Sheena not being great friends. And Lala said, I bet you as soon as she has that kid, she's coming over. Like I see it now.
Yeah. I found a new page, not new. It's been on literally for 20 years, this podcast. I'm not even being
Joe Rogan.
No, it's Jordan Harbinger or something like that. Literally never heard of this dude. I think I've heard the name, but I never heard his podcast. I listened to a dude that was on his podcast, and this guy was talking about just like brain development throughout history and whatever. But he had an idea for a social network. He's like, instead of people on like existing social networks and like this new idea, instead of like being paired up because you have similar like political beliefs or religious beliefs or the things that are super fiery topics, he's like, everyone should be, if I like hang gliding and you like hang gliding, that's how we should be introduced, right? If we like dogs, that way. And then like little easy topic, things we both agree on, hobbies and interests that we both have that are like fun, cool shit. And then once we get to know each other and build a bond and a relationship based on that, then we can tell each other that we disagree with our politics or our religion or whatever, but it's not that big of a deal, which happens all the time, right? You meet people, you build a relationship, you fall in like or love or whatever, and then you find out this thing about it and you're like, oh shit, we probably wouldn't be friends if you told me that one night. But like, whatever, fine. you're
it's
good.
Just Paul's quirky.
Yeah, exactly. But Paul's a good dude, and like he just has this one thing that's a little wonky. And then maybe like, so I feel like I was thinking of that when you're saying that. I think people, like, again, they go through different stages of life, and they should be. It's not crazy that like. I don't know. In my head, that correlated. But
No. I agree.
Can we talk about because this scene drove me up a wall, dude, when Paige, West, Jesse, and I think Kyle was there also, and they're sitting outside. It's like Sunday or Saturday. It was their pool day, and they're all hanging out. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesse is talking such smack about Lexi and her family. Not just like, oh, we went to dinner with one of her girlfriends and she kind of talked a lot. I don't know what it's like to be that girlfriend, but it's her mom and her sister that you're speaking poorly about. And to me, I would be so livid with you. And furthermore, I couldn't stop thinking, Yeah, you know what? Sierra might not have delivered the message correctly, but the message is right. You are two-faced because then you're in bed with her being like, "Schmoopy, I missed you when we weren't at the same dinner." Meanwhile, as soon as you have an audience, you're talking such smack about her and her family.
Mhm.
Not just her or her family, both of them. Do you even like her? Do you even like who she is as a person? Or you just think she's hot and when she's around for you to play with and push the buttons and whatever and squeeze her tush, like then you're into that. Like I wanted to smack him during that I wish because I get what he was saying was funny if it's all true.
He loves an audience.
Correct. But I really wish that in that moment, Paige would have said, "Do you even like her, bro?"
I
Because
know.
everything you're saying about her is not nice.
You know what I wonder in that moment if Paige was like, we kind of went pretty hard on him last week, and maybe they're just kind of trying to settle things back down because Jesse probably did have like an explosive diarrhea of a weekend,
Yeah.
you know, like just not seeing any of that
Yeah.
coming, which is a whole other problem. But I wonder if that's why she did that.
Did I miss? What shit was he talking about it?
Oh my God. When he was like, "So we talked about this for hours, and then her family came over and we had to talk about it for hours. And then we're at a club with her mom and her sister." I got news for you. If you think this is weird, then this probably isn't the girl for you to be with. So
she's
instead of
been
talking
nothing but upfront
shit
about that.
because
But I don't remember the part where he thought that was weird. Like
he said it.
He said it, and then he even goes, "Oh, you guys, I'm not supposed to be talking about this."
No, because he
I
goes,
think
he's
he
like,
was referring to them going out after to that one club.
I'm
Like
talking
I
about-
never got the vibe that he was talking shit. I got the vibe. Like, listen, I'm not saying Jesse's not two-faced. Like, I think he definitely has got a weird thing going on, where he's just either people pleasing or is straight up two-faced, whatever. But like
Attention whore.
attention whore, there could
Mhm.
be multiple things going on. I got the vibe that he was just explaining what happened. And it was West and Paige that were like, "What, dude? That shit is weird." And I think that's why Paige probably didn't say anything because she was on team. That's strange. That's too much. Kyle was the only one that was like, "What are you talking about? That's life. That's how you do it.
But also-
that's a long-term relationship." Like that. Kyle was just being dad Kyle.
Jesse, or Paige, have we learned nothing from this summer about Jesse except for the fact that what he says, there's what happens, it goes into Jesse's little pea brain, it gets translated into something else, and then he spits out a very, he uses a lot of artistic license,
Yeah.
spitting out his version, like Taylor's version. This is Jesse's version
Yeah.
of what happened. And I just think he's not to be trusted when he's relaying a
No.
story specifically about what's her name, Lexi.
Yeah.
I also think if you think all of this is weird, she's not the girl for you because there's some guy like a Kyle out there being like, could you imagine if Kyle's family didn't live in Vermont or Maine or wherever the hell they live? His 80-year-old dad would be at a club with him and Kyle would think it was the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing that he fights about with Amanda all the time. I wish you came out with me and we were out together till 3 a.m. So there is a lid for that pot.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was even saying it in a way where it's like, I'm not trying to say it's bad. It's just these are the facts. And then when West and Paige were like, it's weird. He's like, thank you. It is weird. And it's just like, then stop trying to put it in her.
Yeah.
Like, and be exclusive and date her and tell her that you love her when you've known her for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It just drove me nuts.
I think it can drive you nuts, but I also am reminded of like when Lexi, the whole thing about Lexi, like just checking in on Jesse's Instagram and being like, "Oh, I noticed you follow these girls. Oh, I noticed you unfollowed these girls after I said something," and the talking, saying comments and whatever. I think that people can go back and forth on like, "Whoa, that's a little crazy, bro. That's psycho chick. That's a little like, that's too much." But you could also argue that they're 3 or 4 weeks into a brand new relationship. She likes this guy. She's trying to get to know him. We all Instagram stalk new people when we meet them to be like, "Oh, is this a crazy person?" Like, it's, that could just be Lexi getting to know someone. I think this is, if I'm going to use that same argument for Jesse, this could be Jesse's weird way of getting to know someone, right? Like, oh, this happens. He's more talkative. Lexi might go talk to her mom and sister about, well, it's this, that. Jesse's got to talk to everybody about. So you know what I mean? It's like it could be
Kind of not really, because Lexi, and by the way, we might say that we don't believe that this is true. I feel like I don't have any reason to not believe Lexi. She has said multiple times, I only knew that I have over 1 million social media followers on Instagram. I get so many DMs, and we were caught kissing before the show came out. So people knew that we were hooking up. So when we were hooking up and he starts following all of these other hot chicks, they were DMing me being like, hey, just want to give you a heads up. Your dude just followed me. And she goes, it was a lot. It was like 30 girls in 1 week, which, by the way, if I was in a new relationship with a guy that I was very clear that, like, I don't hit it and quit it, I'm like a relationship sex kind of person, and in the first week of us being exclusive, you followed 30 other hot chicks on Instagram, I would be like, this is weird behavior. And I would bring it up to him.
Especially because she's one of those hot chicks on Instagram. It's not just like, oh, my boyfriend just followed like 30 Instagram models for that live all over the country. It's like,
Right.
no, I'm one of those
Yeah.
girls. I know her, actually. We've worked together. Like,
She's my neighbor.
yeah,
We were in a
that's
model
my
apartment
neighbor.
together. Like,
we have the same manager. Like, just all the things. Like, she's one of those girls.
you know how everyone's got a hall pass, and for Mike, it's Tom Schwartz? I feel like Jesse, this is how dumb Jesse is. I feel like Lexi was on his list of like hall pass people, and he got the girl, and he's like, oh, who else can I get on my list? And it's like, no, we're dating. So that now ends.
Yeah.
Anyway, it annoyed me, that scene really.
No, it
got
did me too. And he did all the things also that you hate, where someone goes, well, just remember this. And he goes, sure. Yeah, sure. Like, he does that. He does.
That is the quickest way to get me,
Yeah.
Courtney Lynn Abiati, from 0 to 60. Just like, yeah, fine. No, it's not fine. You've been running your mouth all season, and when I'm trying to give you constructive criticism, you're checking out and rolling your eyes because you think you know better. If you knew better, you wouldn't be in hot water.
No, it's just dismissive.
It's so dismissive. It's so rude.
What?
nothing. I was
What?
going to be the devil's advocate, but I'm not going to now.
Because you have no time.
That and because you said the word dismissive, so I'm not trying to be dismissive and hate all women like you say I do.
Well, you're not a nice guy.
That's
Um,
two different things.
When Sierra and Jesse are talking at the beach, again, Jesse, maybe give Lexi a heads up, like, hey, I want to talk to Sierra alone. Like, you know your chick, but you don't because you're an idiot. God, I got so mean to Jesse. Sorry.
Welcome to the dark side.
And they're sitting there and talking, and this is what I meant by when, like, his roommate said the thing, and it's like, yes, that is a truth for your life, and like, add that to the till and see what happens.
Yeah.
Put it in the little computer. He's like, what was I supposed to say to you, Sierra? I'm dating Lexi, and like, our relationship makes her just a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm gonna just put a little space in between us because, you know, this is my priority right now. And literally, I'm watching the show, and at the same time, Sierra and I both go, yeah. But he's so dumb that he thinks that is that. What was I supposed to do? Just tell you the truth? Yeah, that is the path of least resistance here. Just tell me that this is my priority, and like, I love our friendship, but like, I want to give this everything I have, and if that makes her uncomfortable, I'm just going to put a little bit of space there.
Yeah.
And she would have been fine with it.
Sierra would have been fine with it?
I think if he said to her the way he said it on the beach, and he said it better than I'm paraphrasing it, which is basically just like, look, like, Lexi's not that comfortable with how much we flirt, and she knows that they flirt. So like, I just have to pull back on that, as opposed to being at this cancer like volunteer thing and him being like, stop touching me, I keep getting yelled at. And she's like, wait, what? Like, just be an adult and just say, she's not comfortable with how much we flirt, so I'm just gonna, like, we don't have to not be friends and hang. I'm just gonna like pull back a little, and I didn't want you to be surprised.
Yeah.
And Sarah would have been like, totally.
I don't know if what Sierra would have done, but he didn't even give her the chance to react normally, and that's like what I'll say is 1,000% true. Like, because I do have questions on like how Sierra feels about being told anything that could give her a feeling of slight rejection or competition with another model in the house,
Yeah,
or
I
you
know,
know, just
I don't. You're totally 100% right. He did not give her that opportunity. That being said, I think she would have reacted pretty close.
since he's been the one going after her, also she might just have that, even if it's just that and nothing else to do with like the other personal things I think that she might be dealing with internally. Just at the fact he's jumping on top of her, touching her. Oh, I got a boner again. Oh, you're the hottest. Sorry, you're a smoke show 10
So
or
you're
whatever.
10.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't think she would have reacted that way is because they've never hooked up. And there is like this weird energetic thing that happens where like you feel more rejected if you guys have been, even if it's just like a good makeout sesh, because then you're just like, oh, you're definitely choosing that person over me right now. And because they've never hooked up, I just feel like she would have been like maybe a little bit an ego bruise, but I think she would have been like, totally, like it makes sense.
Yeah. It's just never about one thing with Sierra. It's like a compilation of what? No.
I'm shaking my head at Courtney. Shocker. I'm kidding. I think that Sierra has a thing with Lexi, as do many of us on the interwebs. So that's my thing is like Sierra's got an issue with Lexi. And it could be, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
I think it's just
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, she does. She's got a bone to pick with her. I still think Jesse's an idiot, and
Yeah.
he should. When he said like, "What should I should have said the truth?" and
but he
everyone in
did
America
that
was like,
30
yeah,
minutes earlier.
that's what
When he's like, my best friend told me that when we get chicken, we should cook it. I don't know if that's true. Like,
This is what I'm saying.
dude?
It's like
No,
the
it's
answer's
chicken.
hiding in plain sight,
Yeah.
and he's just like, where could it be?
Yeah.
I can't find my
Which
teeth.
Sends us back to he's a stupid, dumb, stupid head.
He is literally like the president, or at least the treasurer of the DRD club.
Fine,
Yeah.
Jesse. You know how many times I've been called that? Look at me now.
There's so much more to go into with this episode, and this is all my fault. I just want to apologize, but we have to go into comments now.
But before we do, I just want to say, because it's the funniest thing, I love it when Amanda's like, what are you talking to these men about that you can't talk to your wife about? And it's a little shout out for that comment. It was super
He
funny.
should join a group chat.
No, he shouldn't. Definitely not. With his wife.
Last week, where you had said like, why don't we think Lindsay believes that Carl had a one night stand? And Lindsay's like, we were engaged and he wouldn't sleep with me. So I was, and that was my theory.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to know whether it's true or not. I was happy that she said it.
I thought that. I was like, oh, Courtney nailed that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm back to my original. I think I'm going to stick to it this time. That I don't think Carl's gay. I think he's asexual. You were all waiting for you heard
Your
it here.
proclamation.
Yeah. No, I've done that's where I'm at now. And I think I'll stay there because I feel like that's where I started. And I only let all these people get into my head, and it made me just think, am I the only one that doesn't see something? But like my gut, and that he's asexual and has a lot of issues he's not dealing with, and dealing with all the wrong ones, overly dealing with all the wrong ones.
You can't bring that up when I have 5 minutes to leave, because you know I have thoughts on this. I think
we gotta go do comments.
Asexual. I'm just
Let me just say something real quick. Because I'll let you guys do the comments only because we have to go. But in mine, it would take fucking an hour for me to do. I shared a story last week that I've always felt really bad about, and I felt bad about it because it's a decision that we both should have made, and I didn't let her make that decision. So I felt weird about saying that and letting it out, but whatever, it got out. I didn't get out. That's a weird way to say that, but
that was not a plan. If I saw that on reality TV, I'd be like, they talked about that beforehand.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, anyways, everybody was really sweet about it, and I just. Thanks. It means a lot. Everything that everybody said meant a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I could go on for hours and hours and hours about it, but I won't. I just want to tell everyone I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
Even though Natalie got shafted.
Shafted?
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
you got
like,
the shaft. You didn't get the kid.
Yeah, whatever. We can buy some.
A question for you guys, just because I only have 5 minutes, just because I can't be late to the show.
Read them all. Read whatever you want.
read 'em?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
I love Overbothered. Great name, by the way.
They
Like,
had so many good ones.
so many good ones.
Yeah.
Said, dodo birds are not extinct. The last one is cast on Summer House named Jesse Solomon. Brava.
Yeah.
This one is kind of a long one by my girl Carlite, but I think it's worth reading. I left a comment already. That's great. You can leave multiple.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing it, so forgive me if it's down here twice. I love getting to know you guys outside of what you do here during the normal showcast. I thank you, Mike, for being
Showcast.
unguarded and open and sharing such a powerful story. Every week I learn more about what a faithful, loving husband you are to Nat, and today showed just how truly selfless you are. It was very moving to hear you talk about your past and some unresolved feelings and sentiments, to see the ladies really absorb these emotions. You guys are fabulous. Love the show and always appreciate the hard work that you do providing this for us. And I just thought it was so sweet that
Yeah.
she said all of that. And I also really love explaining more about like who we are and what we
Yeah.
do just outside of the shows. And it's just lovely to know that someone likes hearing that, because you never know.
Yeah. We're not married, by the way. I feel like we should tell you that now, because if we ever do say that we're getting married, you might be like, what? We're not married.
Close enough.
Condom law. Johnny smiles, always for the win. We need to send Jesse to Caesar Milan. I know we said that last week,
Yeah.
but it's reiterated.
Yeah.
Deborah Lashy. Hi, guys. My prayers were answered again. I needed the three of you and the kitties like you would never believe. I have been warning everyone, even the poor people sitting near me at the soccer game in the rain yesterday, to excuse my bad mood and excuse and ignore anything coming out of my mouth. I wish I could put you guys in my pocket. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think I've said this before. I have had just a real, I can't even say like a shit start to this year, because it's halfway. We're at the halftime show. Beyonce needs to come out, do some Cowboy Carter thing, and hopefully things will turn themselves around. But that just meant so much to me personally, because this has been,
Yeah.
I saw an astrologer, because that's what I do, because I'm a mega hippie. And she's like, oh, this is the energy around you right now. What happened in 2000 at the beginning of 2007? And it was literally when I was going through the worst breakup of my life. I lost the will to eat and live. It was a real good time. And I was like, oh, that tracks, that I'm having 2007 energy now. And so I keep telling people I feel like the angel of death. I feel so negative. And so when you said that, I was just like, I get it. And it's okay. You can be negative. I'm sure you're not always that way. And if you are, just call me and we can bitch together. But I think I'm coming out of it. So I hope I'm sending you good energy, that hopefully you're coming out of it too. My last, Sandy with cats, in your Lexi's boot camp show idea, which is so taking off,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's gonna save the world.
When you guys have to when the guys have to talk to the lionesses in their den, it could be a huge intimidating round table like in the Traders. Yes to all of this. And everyone's really,
We
got
did
the
some
support.
development on that. That like we don't have to read it, but that chain goes on for a bit. We did some back and forth. We did we got potential employees once this thing takes off. It's Johnny's on. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good thing.
I could not be happier.
Yeah.
This is Nettie. Mike and Nat, thanks for the real. I love this. Don't have regrets, man. Kids can also drag you. Not easy. Don't ever think
And
the
the
grass
truth.
is greener. And I just think that I just love when people are always honest about that. Like, we had an episode where Nat took out her weave and was like, I just want to be honest with everyone. And I was like, and I have a full beard.
And now here I am, real hair.
Yeah, which looks so good. Mandy Adams, I've gone back to, I just love that you did this, Mandy. I've gone back to the beginning and started rewatching the show. I love to see how it all comes together or falls apart. And Mike and I both were like, you will never regret this. It is such a good pastime if you love these shows to always go back and do a full binge. Joe Schmo. Oh, I just wanted to give a shout out to Joe Schmo, because Joe always gets my movie references and it just makes me feel seen.
We appreciate you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
It's a real load off.
Jane Wood Branham. What Summer House needs is, I loved this comment. What Summer House needs is more handsome men who are European, like Andrea. I would love a comparison of sophisticated European men versus USA F-boys. Don't get me wrong. Love a good old American, okay? But Andrea wore actual tighty whities. Jesse, Lally,
Yeah.
Lally, looked great in them. every morning would bring the girls coffee. Principessa, how do you take your coffee? Like, would cook dinners, cried. Like, everything about him was amazing. Anyway, I can't be late for this theater production. Amanda, I'm so proud of you. I love you, and Mom, thank you for giving birth to me. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
And Mama Gina, you didn't have birth me, but I love you nonetheless. Okay. I'm so sorry I have to.
I think I've stated for the record 15 times, this is my doings.
It is your doings.
Yeah.
Don't be saddened when, the ratings drop off as soon as
Yeah.
I know. We're going to be like, what happened at minute 2?
They're like, only an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Love you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Oh my God, I'm so schwitzy.
Have a good time.
I love everyone. I'm going to the theater because I'm cultured. I'm just kidding. I love the theater. Bye.
It's a
Bye.
porno.
Oh my God, I have to pee so bad. This is not going to be good.
There's a,
Bathroom right there. You're going to do comments?
yeah, but you got to be tuned in then. You can't, none of your,
None of my thinking.
yeah, I need all the, ooh,
Ooh. Ah. Wait, I need a Triscuit.
Little Red says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. I always like Tom George. Sierra acts like she's been constipated this whole time. Shitty attitude. I think she is jealous that another model is in the house. Also, 2 of my dogs were hurt when I got them. They're so loyal and smart. I love that Little Red just pounds it all into one. Here's everything going on,
Yep.
and I get it all, and I love it all, and never stop.
Yeah. And I love that the dogs aren't hurt anymore and they just cuddle up with you. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And that Sierra's constipated because that is so true and so funny.
I know. If she is, that would explain so much.
It
And then
would.
I'd be
I really
like,
would.
sorry, girl. Sorry we've been so hard on you.
Remember the girl on Whore Island, aka Bachelor in Paradise, that had to have a poo baby? She was real grumpy too.
I always wonder if that girl regrets telling the producers every day. It's day 9, day 10, day
You-
11.
You really wonder if she regrets that.
I mean, there's some crazies out there.
Yeah, true.
So Coca Demoka says, thank you for opening up about your kids or no kids feelings and experiences. It's relatable for so many people. I look forward to meeting all the people that were told that at an Italian restaurant down the street from their house that they walk to. Trisha S. Vader says, starting with the real life first, Mike, the emotion and pure love you showed towards Natty was beautiful. And if you both decide to adopt, you'll be amazing parents. Okay, I may have jumped the gun on the party too. This episode made it look more fun. Yeah, because of the slow-mo. When there's slow-mo cam action, that's when you know.
Everything's better with slow mo.
Yeah. Zoe, I love Schwartz. You've told us you can't tell me enough.
Yeah.
Because the club is small. So I'd like to know every week that you're still loving Schwartz.
Yep. And not a fan of Katie.
I
Double.
like Katie.
Yeah, double.
Harris B, sorry for my vulgar Jesse comment. I'm also just a dumb dude. To which I say, vulgar comments only, please.
Yes. No, we're totally fine with vulgar comments.
Yeah. Christy Sheik, Courtney's not here to know, but Courtney, you look nice tonight. I like your sweater coat. Mike, it's okay with me if you change your mind about the Tweety Birds party. I just think it's time for all of them to grow up. I did like West's costume. Hi, Minnie. I agree the guys outside in bed watching TV was a cute scene. When I see Lexi's lip liner, it makes me think about the New Jersey scene between Jen Aiden and Margaret regarding your lips look like a monkey's asshole. I have not seen that episode.
Nor have I, but
And we're going
it
to,
sounds
though.
like a good one.
Yeah. John Simmons, Carl will do anything to stay on the show. He needs a storyline. Sierra is a safe bet. It's so obvious he is self-producing. Without the show, he has nothing going on. Dating Sierra would give him another season on the show.
It would definitely give him another season on the show, but I don't see that happening.
You don't see Carl coming back next year?
No, I don't see him dating Sierra.
Oh, yeah. A Mandy J, the toe sucking is weird, but no one mentions how weird it is for Jesse to walk into a bedroom uninvited. Can you imagine bringing someone home with the intention of having sex? You're in bed with them, and your roommate just wanders in and sits down on the bed for a half an hour. I think Jesse's lying to everyone in the house about Lexi was putting Lexi down to big himself up. He was flexing. Craig lived in a fantasy of what his relationship with Paige was or could be, and Jesse is doing the same. Only in his fantasy, he's so great that this amazing woman is stalking him and obsessing over him. Whilst he's so cool, he can act like whatever. No notes. All of it. Minnie has 3 Minnie just was trying to eat 2 treats at a time out of this when she's got 3 right here, 4 that she hasn't
4.
even eaten. She's just trying to tell Foof, I do what I want. I'm in charge of you.
Fifth, get those treats for Minnie.
Yeah. Here you go, Foof.
Yeah, now what, Minnie? This one is something that I say all the time. I don't know if it's true in this case. It might be. But I just wonder because of the Jesse Sierra and Jesse West thing. KT Melio, Jesse is a great guy's guy, but a horrible boyfriend. And I say that all the time. Like, he's a fun friend, but his poor wife or his poor girlfriend, he's a horrible husband, horrible boy. Like, there's a few people I know like that.
But we have heard a couple things about him. Like, he's telling Lexi, oh, West got so famous from Sierra. Oh, Lexi's flirting with West.
That's what I mean. Like that's
he
what I
might
was
be a
like,
shit talker behind everyone's back.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I say this all the time. But I don't know if it pertains to Jesse because
Yeah.
Jesse might just be either super dumb or just kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Pat Clark, my golfing buddy. Yes, yes, yes. Sierra needs a man that appreciates her inner strength and beauty. The summer house men are too superficial. This is true. And then Nettie, I feel like, has said this so much and totally agree with her. She just needs an adult man. These men act like kids. They may never want to grow up. It's totally true. Which, why would you if you're on a TV show paid to act like an asshole?
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of funky if you think about it. And we shouldn't think about it because then we'd start thinking about way too many of other like Bravo standards and practices of how they go about these shows.
I don't know if Bravo has standards and practices.
Well, I guess
they should.
sort of like their track record. If Bailey really did get on the show and then they found out that she has an active boyfriend and obviously wasn't going to be like, well, not that she couldn't have done any shenanigans anyways, but like it's more likely that she wouldn't with something like that. If they didn't let her come back because of that, I understand the sentiment of you misrepresented yourself and like we're hiring characters here, but they also set the house up with not even just fuckboys, but like unattractive ones. I'm sorry, like they don't take a lot of care into like who they're putting here. Andrea was like a very different, and Craigie. When Craigie comes to visit, those are the best days. But they're really putting women in a real awkward spot to basically have to put themselves in the line of fire for a bunch of assholes who aren't even attractive. Because if you got a boyfriend, then you're likely not going to hook up with one of those disgusting looking assholes.
But also, if they were hot, it'd be harder to leave them and then start love triangles and bang a different dude in 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they gotta be so ugly that like they gotta be just attractive enough to be like, all right, fine. And then where the beer goggles work, charming enough to let you stick around, but ugly enough to when the charm wears off, you're like, no, he's not even that hot. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And then you hate yourself even more.
Which is weird, but all the chicks are banging.
Was my next line. They stack it with hot bikini babes.
Yeah.
And then they give
Like
you
even
these
and
schmoes.
yeah, objectively attractive dudes.
Like all guys that like sort of have it in them to fool a woman like Sierra, who probably thought this, fine, I actually will give this guy a shot. The guy with the weird weasel face, and I should have no worries, right? Like how much of a fuckboy can this guy be? A big one.
What a little one.
Maybe he has a little boner. Carol T says, Mike, you're not fooling anybody. You are the party.
Yeah, first time anyone has ever said that in the history of the world.
Yeah, I feel like I could put up a photo that just shows like the whole party going on and Mike just sitting there. I feel like I have many of those photos.
Yeah, all the photos. Any photo of me at a party looks like that. Nettie, exactly, Nat. Kyle, you need to wait to have kids before you speak the words pipe down. Who are you talking to, bro?
I love how she spelled bro.
Yeah, bro. I just know you are not talking to a grown woman like that. Now that must be a joke. What the F? No, sir. You are out of order. So true. And it's so funny. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever say pipe down again. Not that I use it a ton, but it is like You need to have earned the right to say those words.
I don't know if you've ever told me to pipe down. You'd be getting
Have
a
I
pipe
ever
up your
told you to
pee-hole.
be quiet in any way?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
That's true.
Joanne Greco says Craig's the loveliest guy on Bravo, not Carl. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just felt like, God, everyone on the show sucks, and Carl is so nice.
Except when he's emotional terrorizing
Except
people.
for when he's emotionally terrorizing people. People that are always the targets of some kind of weird emotional roller coasters. So you're right. Craig is the
When
best.
you're right, you're right.
Joanne also says Carl's so boring now, and he knows it. So he tries to latch on to the women in the house so he'll keep being employed. It's probably his best bet. So
Carol T. I love how the ladies circled Lexi to confront Jesse Solomon's continued gaslighting. That guy needs to shut up.
yeah.
Give him an old smackdown.
Yeah. It was what we'd been waiting for. It was what people were complaining was not happening. Lexi was so new. They never really had the chance to get to know her well enough to come to bat for her. And
Right.
then as soon as Lexi kind of like opened up to them, well, really it was Amanda that like put that in motion. Then they were like, oh, I guess we're on the clock now. Like they got the memo and they chopped to it like immediately. So that was lovely.
Classic case of don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge an episode by what part of the arc it is in the season.
Well, that's the TV version of that.
They're like, oh no, girls next weekend, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Back
Not
to your
bad.
stations. Back to one.
Shout out to Lisa Beaumont up in Canada, Toronto, for all the hearts and all the love. Like just so much love from
Yeah.
Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right back at you.
Nettie says Jesse's still trying to diffuse Toegate.
He's like, yeah, a gazillion years later.
And Nettie also says, never liked Sierra more than when she snapped at Jesse. How dare he? What was that? So his words to her were a joke to make her feel better about Wes, as if that's his job now. He's basically demonstrating that nobody can take anything he says seriously. He gives manipulative AF. Agreed. Never liked him. Just want to make sure I've said that. Have I mentioned? I never liked him. Never thought he was attractive.
Couple times.
Old toothy McTootherson. Get the fuck out of here.
Rebecca Kakao, I wonder if Sierra would start flirting with Carl if he brought home real potential. I feel like Sierra loves to be the chosen one, which may explain why she goes for F-boys. She's absolutely gorgeous and smart and needs to change it up. F-boys aren't working for her. Mike had great perspective on Jesse. Told you. Making me think more about why he is the way he is. But I like, what if Carl, like, I guess there's only one episode left, but like, what if Carl brought home like a little smoke show from the bar who spent the night and like woke up and had breakfast and was like so cute and funny and whatever? Do you think Sarah would like, or Sierra would be like go flirty with him, or like have emo feelings about that?
I think it would make her have a moment of just, wait, is he dateable? Like, I think that's how a lot of people operate. So this isn't Sierra specific.
Yeah.
But
Listen,
but I read that too and thought that is what it would take, because I still stand by what I said last week. Did you rewatch it?
I didn't, but enough people like agreed with you that I was like, maybe they did shut her down. Maybe she was gonna say, like, just in regards to Sierra telling the girls about what Carl had said, like, oh, he had a crush on her. And we were like, oh, we all thought it was a joke. And Natalie was like, no, I think she was about to tell them that she maybe was coming up with ways or reasons to consider it.
Yeah.
And the girls shut her down, and she was like, oh, yeah, no, totally.
Oh, yeah,
I
that was nice
yeah,
of me,
he's
too.
gross.
I was just being nice.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
being,
No.
nice.
And I didn't hate on Sierra for that because, like I said, you consider all your offers, like in all avenues of life. Like, don't shut anything down immediately, except for Carl. Everyone shut down Carl immediately. I want to see Carl. I want to literally see him in a 1 to 2 minimum 6-month to 18-month relationships before anyone that already knows him is allowed to consider him. Like, I believe that Carl has changed after he's become sober. I just don't have any confidence that it is the kind of change that is going to affect how he operates in relationships. Old Carl's mode of operation was hook up with, like, meet a girl, tell everyone about her, invite her over, go out with her a weekend, maybe 2 weekends in a row, and then like backpedal almost immediately. Like she was just gone. We didn't hear from her anymore. It was just he was on to that. He'd already met someone else or whatever. I think that he could continue to do that. He may not be nailing all of them like he was before, because I think that she's onto something when she says like he used to sleep with everyone when he was drinking, because maybe that was the only time that he felt comfortable being intimate with someone is when he was wasted. So that component might not be a part of Carl going forward, but I still think that he will love bomb and then figure out a way to backtrack within 7 to 14 days max. That's my take on that. Christy, I would read the rest of your comment, but I can't. It's just too it's so lovely. It's one of your greatest comments, and you're one of my greatest commenters. So that's how special it is. Thank you so much for writing that. It's really sweet. And happy Mother's Day to all the mommies.
Happy Mother's Day to the moms, cat moms, dog moms, and people moms.
You know, I also took away
Grandmoms.
Minnie's right to bear children. So
Yeah, what are you shitting on
know.
me for? And Foofs.
I know.
I guess technically I dropped Foof off, so
Yeah.
that was me.
Sorry, Foof. You would have been a bad dad anyways.
You really would have. You probably would have eaten your kids.
Yeah, you would have scratched him to death.
Little chubbo.
He scratched Courtney tonight. I don't think we were rolling yet.
Yeah, that was not nice, Foof. Thank you, everybody, again.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Now what?